game.
You know, both these guys are longtime assistants in the NFL. Lovie Smith, obviously a proven head coach. It's exciting to see a young coach like Mike Smith get his opportunity.
Robbie Gould to kick it away. Jarius Norwood approaches and receives at the 2. Breaks it to the outside, trying to turn the corner. And an excellent return by Norwood all the way out to the 40-yard line. Norwood set a franchise record with 2,207 combined yards a season ago. He'll do it in the return game and in the running game. But we will keep an eye out on Matt Ryan, the 3rd pick in last year's draft out of Boston College, 23 years old, a native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Turner, the league's leading rusher. And up front, Sam Baker, the #1 pick out of USC, has started from the get-go. And they test the running game early with Turner. Still on his feet, plows forward for a gain of 3, stopped there by Alex Brown.
You know, look, the Bears defense obviously is a good, solid unit. They're able to rotate their linemen along the defensive front 4. Solid linebacking crew anchored by Brian Urlacher on the 2nd level. And they got Mike Brown back, a real key to the secondary.
Tommy Harris again not starting today. He's missed the last 2 games. An injured knee, and then was suspended because he failed to show up at his rehab. First throw for Ryan. And it's good enough for a first down to the former Ohio State Buckeye #1 pick, Michael Jenkins. So a good start for Matt Ryan.
Well, that's a nice rhythm throw. He's going to get right to the top of his drop. He saw single coverage on the outside, knew exactly where he was going to go with the ball. This is a good start for Atlanta. Right from the kickoff, challenge him early with the run, come back with a quick, solid completion on a 2nd and long.
Roddy White, their leading receiver, in motion. We'll watch him throughout the afternoon. That looked like it had trouble written all over it as soon as Ryan got up under center.
Well, you've got to be careful. The Bear linebackers are very active. And if you find as a quarterback that you linger at the line of scrimmage and you're trying to anticipate, you let your lineman make the calls.
Number 63 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, you can see here that it's taken a while to get the play out. Matt Ryan is just waiting and waiting and waiting. He's waiting for the motion to come. That guard wants to come off against this good Bear defense, and it led to the procedure penalty.
So they back him up 5. It'll be 1st and 15 from midfield. And they hand it off to Turner. And he is bottled up and is able to manage a gain of maybe a yard. Michael Turner, born in Waukegan, just outside Chicago, went to North Chicago High School and Northern Illinois University. Spent his first 4 years in the NFL as a backup to LaDainian Tomlinson in San Diego. He left as a free agent, signing with Atlanta. His first game as a Falcon, rushed for a franchise record 220 yards against Detroit. He is the NFL's leading rusher. Jarius Norwood replaces him. And is split out to the right. Slant caught by Roddy White. Very close to a first down at the Chicago 34.
Now this is just a real simple as a screwdriver. Good slant on the outside. This is 2 second longs now that Matt Ryan has faced. This is a real simple slant flat combination. Puts the ball in a real catchable area away from the linebacker. This is 2 nice 2nd and long completions by Matt Ryan.
Corey Graham, the 2nd-year corner out of New Hampshire, is starting in place of Nathan Vasher. Vasher missed last week against Detroit with a wrist injury, and he is inactive today. Turner bounces off 1 tackle and is driven down at the 30-yard line, a gain of 3. Tillman coming up to make the tackle.
Now that's 3 runs on first down, and you know what Atlanta's trying to do. They're trying to send a message to the Chicago Bears and saying, we don't care if you haven't given up a 100-yard rusher. We're not going to be afraid to try to run the ball. But they do need balance on first down. They're set up now with maybe a nice play action on the next first down to try to get in behind that 8-man front of the Bears.
A 2nd down and 7. Play fake, one way. Ryan rolls the other, delivers a strike to the 15-yard line. And again, it's Michael Jenkins on the receiving end, and another first down.
Now, this is a great, calm play fake by Matt Ryan. It's just a simple waggle. Too often a young quarterback will rush this, but he is completely under control. He settles himself. The hardest throw on a waggle route is not the quick little flat. It's not the crosser. It's getting the ball down the field to that deeper comeback, and he did a nice job getting the ball to Michael Jenkins in that instance.
So far, a most impressive opening drive for the rookie quarterback Matt Ryan against a stout Chicago defense. A double reverse, and that did not fool anybody. Most notably, Corey Graham.
Well, this is a veteran Bear defense. You can watch here that the defense is not going to be fooled by this. It's a veteran defense. They see the initial action to the outside. Everybody stays home, particularly the backside. Corey Graham, who's just in his second start, does a nice job of not coming too flat, doing his job, which is to make sure that you're there for the reverse. Nice job by the young Graham.
Turns out to be a loss of 11, so it goes to 2nd down and 21. Here comes Urlacher and Briggs. They pick it up, and the catch is made down at the 17-yard line by Roddy White, so they get back some of that yardage, but a big 3rd down upcoming for Atlanta.
Now here, Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcons have been in a 3rd and long, the 3rd most of any team in the National Football League. That puts a lot of pressure on a young quarterback, particularly now in the red zone. You got to assume you're in good field goal position. You'd like to get the touchdown, but you don't want to give up the points by way of the 3 points with the turnover.
Good protection. Norwood out of the backfield is dragged out of bounds again by Graham at the 11. So out comes the field goal unit led by Jason Elam.
Nice drive by the Atlanta Falcons. You hate to see them lose that yardage on the reverse. Certainly was worth doing. You're trying to get the Bear defense in any way you can to just pause, hesitate. Not a bad call, but they had a nice drive going. Certainly would have liked to come away with 7. They'll take the 3.
It'll be a 29-yard field goal try for Elam in his 16th season. He grew up just outside of Atlanta. And this one is hammered right down the middle. So Matt Ryan, we wonder, could he make plays throwing the football against this Bear defense? 5 for 5 on the opening drive, leading to 3 points. Atlanta takes the drive to begin the game down the field. The Jason Elam field goal makes it 3-0. So now the always dangerous Devin Hester set to bring back this kickoff if he even gets a chance. Very short kick by Kanan. He won't get the chance. And fielding it is Garrett Wolf. And he's tackled at the 28-yard line. So we'll meet the Bears on offense, the Falcons on defense when we return.
I'm gonna grab a light beer. You want one?
Nah, beer fills me up.
Hang on. Fills you up? Really? 2 hours of shoving pizza in your pie?
Chicago gets the first ball for the first time today. Kyle Orton, for the 2nd time in his career, is the Chicago starting quarterback. Started as a rookie, you may remember, and speaking of rookies, a very impressive one is Matt Forte, 2nd-round pick out of Tulane, who's already rushed for almost 400 yards and has caught 22 passes out of the backfield. But for Orton, you may remember the 25-year-old Iowa native was a starter his rookie year in 2005. Had a 10-5 record. The Bears won 11 last season, reaching the playoffs. The following year did not take a single snap, was inactive for all 16. Played in 3 games last year, won the job this year over Rex Grossman, and has played brilliantly. His first throw today is caught close to a first down by his tight end Desmond Clark. They've
got a great combination of tight ends here, and Desmond Clark, Greg Olsen, and the young rookie Kellen Davis, who hasn't really even seen the field, but was very impressive in preseason.
You and I saw them against the San Francisco 49ers at Soldier Field. So the catch by Clark was good enough for a first down. And they hand it off to Forte and nowhere to run. He loses a couple of yards. The first man there, Jamal Anderson, a #1 pick a season ago out of Arkansas.
Well, you can see it's clear cut by the Bears. The first 2 plays are going to the young man, Matt Forte. It was that way last week. I think 12 of the first 18 plays had Matt Forte involved.
Atlanta defensively ranking 23rd so far in the NFL. They pitch it to Forte. Cuts it back to the inside. And stepping up to make the play is Eric Coleman from the free safety spot.
Well, now it's time to see if Kyle Orton convert a 3rd and long. Matt Ryan had to convert his down in the red zone. Did not. You know, this is on that down and distance now where you pretty much have to get the ball down the field. You maybe can drop it underneath to a back or a tight end to run for the first down. But we're going to see if Kyle Orton can indeed. The Bears have been very good on 3rd down this year.
3rd and 8. Blitz coming. Thrown in the direction of Olsen. Covered by Boley. And the Atlanta defense makes an early stop. Pressure applied by John Abraham, who has 7 sacks to lead the NFL so far this year.
You can see here on the replay, they're getting lots of pressure here with a 5-man rush, all filling in their appropriate gaps. Forced Kyle Orton to get the ball off before he wanted to throw it.
Brad Maynard on the punt for Chicago. And Adam Jennings standing back at his own 15. Fair catch. Nearly collision down there with Rasheed Davis. But he was able to avert Jennings, and Atlanta will get the football for the 2nd time, leading 3-0 with 6:29 to play in the opening quarter.
October is Ford Truck Month, and just announced, get up.
Atlanta getting the football for a 2nd time. Able to drive down the field and pick up a field goal against Urlacher and company on their first series. Line up under center. Hands it to Turner. And the football is loose. Picked up by Alex Brown. And the former Florida Gator is recovered and brought it inside the 5. That is the first time in 402 rushes that a running back for Atlanta has lost a fumble.
Well, they got a free runner from the outside. The pulling guard was not able to get in and get to that rush defensive end. We're going to have to see if Michael Turner was down or not, whether his knee is down. Now, it looks like the knee is down. I would be surprised if this is not challenged.
Well, you see Mike Smith all the way out there on the field. He's going to hit somebody with that flag to challenge. So they're going to check it out. We'll be right back. Smith, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, challenging the call made on the field by the officiating crew. Alberto Riveron, our referee today. Our replay official is Bob McGrath. And they're still looking things over and talking it over.
Yeah, here Mike Smith now, he's getting a lot of information from above. Alex Brown comes in unblocked, gets a good solid wrap up on Mike Turner, but you can see right here, this knee is down and he still has possession of the ball. That should be Atlanta's ball. Now, Mike Smith still none too happy that he's coming on now with a second, whatever it is, second 15, second 17, but it's better than turning the ball over to the Bears right now.
Should be noted that you and Mike Smith are brothers-in-law. You are married, he is married to sisters.
Yeah, we are, and you'd think that would be an advantage for me to get some information, but Mike and I, here's the call.
While the quarterback is on the ground, he still has possession of the ball. Therefore, it is not a fumble. It will be 2nd down. Atlanta will not be charged with timeout. Clock operator, please reset the clock to show 6:27. 6:27, please.
And this is what replay's about. It's to remove the egregious error. Clearly he is down. It's easy to see. You'd hate to have this ball go to Chicago when clearly he was down. This is exactly what the replay system is about.
You were an assistant coach at San Diego State. Mike Smith was a part of that staff, although you were a full-time member of the staff. He was not.
And I had to pay him to go out with my sister-in-law. That amount has gotten bigger and bigger as the years go on.
Jarius Norwood getting his first carry of the afternoon, and he brings it out to nearly the original line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up a 3rd and long again for Atlanta. They were very successful in converting on 3rd and long 3 times their opening drive.
Yeah, this is another 3rd and long. As we said, they've been in this down and distance a lot, and it puts a lot of pressure on a young quarterback. We'll see if Matt Ryan can dial one up here.
Very odd formation at the line of scrimmage.
They're just trying to hide their alignment. They're looking for a matchup now by exploding out into a 3-receiver set and see what the best matchup is.
Play blown dead before it ever got started, and that's probably a good thing for Chicago. That quick slant to Harry Douglas had lots of yardage in front of it.
False start, illegal snap, number 62 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
This is what happened before on the procedure penalty. They're trying to catch the Bears off guard, explode out to what we call 3-by-1 alignment, 3-receiver set. And Matt Ryan's looking, okay, who's got my best matchup here? But with the shifting and waiting now to get everybody set, that offensive line got a little anxious.
Would you come back and run the exact same play again?
Now you got to dial up something different now. Maybe a slant go since they already saw the slant.
The shotgun and lofts it complete to Harry Douglas, and that is a 1st down. What a touch by the rookie Matt Ryan. Oh my goodness.
This is an impressive throw by Matt Ryan. Basic rule says you don't throw behind a retreating linebacker. And here you can see the defensive back. He has to get just the right arc with just the right depth to drop that ball in for the 1st down. That's an impressive 3rd down conversion by the young rookie.
Right in between the cornerback Charles Tillman and the strong safety Kevin Payne. Ryan is hit on 6 of 6. Throws on his back foot and still able to get it there. Out to midfield, caught by Roddy White, another 1st down.
Boy, this anybody that wants to question Matt Ryan's arm strength needs to see this play. He feels the pressure. He's throwing it, falling away like a fall-away jumper. This is a long throw to the sideline, coming down that weak side to Roddy White. That's a tough, long throw. That shows all the arm strength you need in the National Football League.
Roddy White trying to become the first Atlanta wide receiver since Terrence Mathis with back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons. They try and go back on the ground. Not much there. Let's send it to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, new coach for the Rams, but the same old result so far. Steven Jackson fumbles inside the 5-yard line against the Redskins. Next play from scrimmage, Clinton Portis takes it in from 3 yards out, and just like that, bing, bing, Redskins with a 7-0 lead in the 1st quarter. Back to Atlanta and Tom and Brian.
Mr. Menefee, thank you very much. Atlanta's 2nd down and 10 right at midfield, leading 3-0. With 3:20 to play in the 1st quarter, and Ryan looking for the bundle and then has to tuck it away and picks up a yard. He had an eye down the field on the rookie Harry Douglas out of Louisville, but Adewale Ogunleye was applying the heat.
Well, they were looking down the field, and they've got a nice pocket here set up for Matt Ryan as he drops back. He was looking for the big shot. Little play fake, read, not there. Not going to force himself into a bad throw. Tries to minimize the damage.
Yet another 3rd and long. Can they convert again? You betcha. Flag comes in from the middle of the field in the secondary. White the catch at the 35, and this figures to go against Chicago. A gain of 14. And another first down, and the flag is against the Bears.
Illegal contact, number 44 on the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Ryan, I'm not sure you can be any more impressive. I don't care if it's a rookie or a 15-year veteran than what Matt Ryan has done through nearly a quarter.
And this is the league's leading third down defense in the league in terms of Chicago, and he's converted 2 real third and longs. This is an excellent throw into the hole. These are not easy throws.
They hand it off to Turner. And again, just nowhere to go. Corey Graham coming up to stuff him. Turner has carried 5 times for 2 yards.
Yeah, what they're trying, you can see right here now, it's going to be difficult if they can't get more on first down. They're trying to keep the balance that they want to get, but they're putting this young quarterback in a lot of second longs, a lot of third longs. They're going to stay with it, but they got to start getting better first down production out of the running game.
Slips a couple of tackles. He's inside the 30 to the 29, so a little more manageable now on third down at third, and we'll call it 5.
And they're in that area. They are right on the edge of a field goal. Once you get close to that 30, so they want to be very conscious. If indeed they throw the ball, they might very well run it. But if they throw the ball, this is where the rookie's got to know, I cannot take a sack. If I do, I'm taking points off the board.
Showing blitz, they do blitz, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
These linebackers for the Bears, you can see here on the replay, move around. They're all up in the gaps right now, and that creates a difficulty for the offensive line in terms of identification. Brian Urlacher comes scot-free right in the face of Matt Ryan. Wisely throws the ball away basically, and now gives him a chance to put points on the board.
47-yard field goal try. We'll call it 48 officially for Elam. This guy has been automatic throughout his entire career. 3-time Pro Bowler returning home. He's accounted for all the scoring through the first quarter. A minute to play in the first quarter. A quarter where the Bears have had the football for less than 3 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, that bodes well for Atlanta. You'd love to come away with a touchdown. You got to finish the drives off against a good team like the Chicago Bears.
Hester fields a ground ball kickoff and is run out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Pleasure to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team today, Buck Langford. Hi, Buck.
Hey guys, you know, after the way things went for the Falcons last year, the expectations coming in were at an all-time low. The experts picked them to win 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 games. Even after a win over Kansas City and Detroit, fans were still a little skeptical. But the win over Green Bay on the road last week legitimized their start. A win over the Bears today would certainly raise the bar for Mike Smith and company.
Well, it certainly has been a city divided in many ways after the Michael Vick situation a couple of years ago, and even dragging into last season, and the exit of Bobby Petrino, the head coach, with 3 games left to go in the season, as Rashid Davis makes a reception out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 9. Arthur Blank, the owner, made the decision to hire Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager, bringing him over from New England, the number 3 man on the totem pole with the Patriots there, and ultimately hired that man, Mike Smith, as the head coach.
Well, they're trying to develop a partnership here and work the process in Atlanta. So far, it's working very well.
Nowhere to go for Forte on second down and a yard. He may have lost 2, depending on the spot. Third and short upcoming for the Bears.
Well, we talked about how Atlanta was able to convert on third downs against the leading nickel defense in the league in Chicago. This Chicago offense is one of the top third down offenses in the league. They've got a very convertible third down they need here.
In fact, 44% they've converted. The opening period comes to an end. So the first 15 minutes in the books, and the highest scoring team in the NFL in the first quarter is Atlanta. They've added into that today. We're back after a local break.
You'd think I'd get some inside information, but we kind of work off the military don't ask, don't tell policy. So I got to go to my wife who can talk to her sister and get the information I need.
It's always better anyway because you get some gossip. 3rd down and 2, and the first conversion on a 3rd down for Chicago. Quick throw to Davis, and that'll move the chains a gain of 5.
You know, this Atlanta defense is the old bend but don't break, which defensive guys hate to hear. This is just nothing more than a little quick sprint that gets the ball out into Rasheed Davis's hands. Atlanta's kind of a bend but don't break, which typically means we're not very good. But here, as long as they don't give up the big play and make Chicago go the length of the field, right now that'll fit what they need to get done.
Forte is chopped down by Kendall Moorhead. A gain of close to 4. 2nd down and 6 for Kyle Orton. What an extraordinary story it has been for Orton, who, as this season has gone on, has certainly earned the right to put the ball in the air with more frequency. Over the last 3 games, he's thrown 7 touchdowns, second only to Brett Favre's 9 in the NFL. And he's thrown for the 8th most yards overall this season in the National Football League. He is having a rock-solid season. Tight end Olsen, and nearly intercepted. Great coverage by Boley.
You know, you talk about Kyle Orton, Tom, and what he's been able to do. There is trust on the part of Lovie Smith and offensive coordinator Ron Turner with Kyle Orton, and it transcends down. Kyle Orton trusts this group of receivers, trying to put the ball up basically with the big tight end Greg Olsen, who's been great for him, relying on Greg Olsen to go up and maybe win that jump ball.
3rd down and 6.
Delay a game on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, you'd hope to think this is exactly what you want. I'm talking about in terms of the Atlanta defense. This is a sellout crowd. They have not had that here. They're up. They need to be boisterous. You can affect an opponent, not only in terms of these types of penalties, you can wear them down by the 4th quarter.
The 3rd and 6 goes to 3rd down and 11. Orton dancing around, and down he goes. Into the arms of Jamal Anderson. The Bears will have to punt it away, and we'll punt it away to Los Angeles to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Tampa Bay scored his first touchdown off a block punt against Carolina. An interception by the defense set up its second. This easy one to Alex Smith. It's 14-0 over Carolina. And I know Coach Billy's got to like that. Special teams, defense, and offense all contributing for the Bucs.
It's interesting to note that both the Bears and the Falcons, their 2 losses this season came to those 2 teams, Tampa Bay and Carolina. And a flag. Talked earlier about Rasheed Davis nearly colliding with Adam Jennings, a return man, the last time the Bears punted. It appeared as though they did collide this time, prompting the flag. The question is, was he blocked into Adam Jennings?
Well, that's the only question, because he clearly ran into the defender, to the receiver.
Fair catch interference by the kicking team, number 81. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, well, clearly there's contact here, but I don't know that he's not blocked into it. I don't know that that's any more contact than we saw earlier when Rasheed Davis fielded a punt earlier in the game. Now, this is the kind of thing that drives coaches nuts. This is a punt return early in the game. Adam Jennings calling for a fair catch. Clearly there's contact there, and there's no call. Now we turn around and see this. I'm not sure there's contact. It's close. It's no more than the other one, and this one gets called. Mike Smith will be livid.
They hand it off to Turner, and his first big carry of the afternoon. Crossing midfield all the way to the 43-yard line. 23-yard pickup by the NFL's leading rusher.
This is just a straightforward downhill play. Michael Turner sees the cutback angle back into here, and now you're seeing the size and speed that the Chicago defenders were so worried about in facing the leading rusher in the National Football League, Michael Turner.
First down at the 43. They're going to give it to Turner again, and this time nowhere to go. Urlacher was there. Agunlaye was there. Talked about Turner, a Chicago native, grew up a hardcore Bears fan. In fact, many of his family members, those that have stayed back in Chicago and those watching right now, they're rooting for Michael Turner to have a great game and for the Falcons to lose.
Well, talking to the Bears, they made it very clear this is the most physical back they've faced so far this year.
Second down, Ryan. Complete to Brian Finnery. Nice to see him back. 9-year veteran out of Villanova. Had some outstanding seasons starting in 2002. Caught nearly 200 passes over a 2.5-year run, that injured his knee and has not played the last 2 seasons.
Now you can see here by the Bear linebackers, they're becoming very active by their linebackers, stepping up into the gap. And this causes a lot of problems for an offensive line. We'll see if the Atlanta Falcons can handle it.
Third down. Ryan steps up and finds Finneran again. First down to the Bears 30. Man, is this guy something?
You know, he is just so comfortable in the pocket. You don't see any nervousness in his feet. You don't see anything in terms of him short-arming the throw. So far, Matt Ryan is not acting like a rookie. And I don't know if the Bears were counting on that coming in, but they know now they're facing something different than the typical, prototypical rookie.
And Coach, very, very little pressure on Ryan. Their offensive front has done a great job against a Chicago team that has racked up 12 sacks in their last 4 games. The first down carry, not much there again. Well, football, the Fox doubleheader today, and then leading right in after the OT tonight to Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. They shift to Los Angeles and Dodger Stadium, where the Phillies, leading 2-0, take on Manny Ramirez and the Dodgers. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Chris Myers, and company tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, in high definition only on Fox. Pick up the blitz, and Ryan looks to the end zone to Jenkins off the fingertips.
You know, this is Roddy White is clearly their #1 receiver, their go-to guy, but they need to find that second guy, whether it be a receiver or a tight end, to come up and be that counterbalance to Roddy White, the running game of Michael Turner. Michael Jenkins ought to be that guy. He's big, he's fast. As you visit with the coaches, their biggest concern with Michael, or what they're trying to help him, he doesn't have a lot of confidence. For him to come down with a ball like that would be a huge play for them and a huge confidence builder.
Looked like it could have been, should have been a touchdown. Instead, it's 3rd down and 10. And Norwood is chopped down at the 22-yard line. Was that a loose football, or was it blown down?
Looks like either way that it was down, or if it was fumbled, looked like Atlanta had the ball. So at least Atlanta's going to get a chance to come back and get another field goal shot. No, that ball is clearly out. Now this follows the down by contact rule. The second part of this is if it's ruled not a fumble, they can come back and reward it to the Bears, but it has to be very clear cut, undisputable that the Bears had control of it, and I don't think this is the case.
Change of possession on the field. The defense recovered the ball, fumbled. The offense got the ball back. Therefore, Atlanta has the ball, 1st and 10.
Boy, now there's a combination you got to love. You lose the ball, therefore you lose the field goal opportunity. But the Bears indeed fumble the ball after they had possession. Atlanta gets it back. That's a double change of possession. This is a free 1st down for the Atlanta Falcons. Lovie Smith's going to be none too happy about this.
So after the ball was loose, for those of you wondering what, it was recovered by Chicago, which is a change of possession. They fumble the ball back to Atlanta. Atlanta recovers, so a first down.
The key is how did he have recovery where he was clearly down, but had it long enough? Now he's clear to get up. No, he was untouched. That was recovery by the Chicago Bears, number 91, Tommy Harris, and as he went to get up, the ball came out, and Atlanta was able to jump on it.
I don't know if I've ever seen a play like that in a long time where a guy didn't have anybody from 5 yards around him and loses the football.
He'd been better off just sit there and lay on the ball.
What a huge turn of events.
Oh, huge. And if they can come away with a touchdown here now, you're talking about the first half of this game is totally in Atlanta's hands.
Well, now a challenge comes from the Chicago sideline. Lovie Smith wants to make sure that everything that has just been explained and looked at and so on and so forth is indeed accurate.
And that's worth the challenge. You're talking about a huge change of possession here. So even though he knows he's wrong, you know this is a legitimate challenge. Now here's what Lovie Smith is challenging, and he hopes it goes his way. But as we look at the end of this play, Tommy Harris is on the ground. He has control of that ball, and as you see as we let it run, there's no one near him. He is not down, and as he tries to get up, the ball comes out, and that's where the fumble comes from. Strange sequence of events, but I think the officials got it right, and it's going to be Atlanta's ball on the 12-yard line.
Tyson Playbo, the right tackle, ultimately recovered the fumble by Harris. Alberto Riveron, the referee, running over to talk to Lovie Smith.
I'm interested in what they're trying to explain to Lovie right now, because any of this is reviewable. The down by contact, was Tommy Harris down as he was on the ball? Was it a fumble?
Chicago is challenging the ruling on the field that while they had possession of the ball, they were touched and it's down by contact. The previous play will be reviewed.
Now, I understand the challenge by Lovie Smith because this is a huge sequence of events, but there's no way they can overturn this because you're going to see the same thing. Tommy Harris is on the ground. He has possession of the ball, and there's not a red shirt close to it.
Ultimately never touched.
Absolutely, and that's
all
the key.
that matters.
If anybody had even come close to touching him, it would have been down, and it would have been the Bears' ball going the other way. But I don't see anything here where the officials aren't going to stay with the ruling on the field, and this should be a huge break for Atlanta. You're talking about coming away with what would have been a field goal attempt, and now, yes, you make it a 2-score game by making it 9-0, assuming they convert the field goal. But now you're in a position, 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line. You can still get a first down now the goal line. This could be a huge sequence for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, this is taking an extraordinary amount of time when you ultimately consider that what we've seen is about as clear evidence as you could possibly get.
And the hard thing about the review, and I'll get on my replay bandwagon here a little bit, that it's tough as a coach because you're hearing from a lot of different people. People that thought they saw it on the sideline. You're waiting for your coaches up in the booth. You don't know what they're seeing or when they're getting it. And then there's the ultimate disappointment when the official comes over and says, we didn't get a clean view. Now, the key here is they ruled that it's Atlanta's ball. So they have to have indisputable perspective that says this is not the way we called it on the field. I don't know how they turn this around.
Well, we are still waiting and still waiting.
And as I said earlier now, this is a legitimate challenge by Lovie Smith. He may know darn well that Tommy Harris was not touched, but he's got to hope there's something that gives the ball back to him for the sake of a timeout. It's worth the challenge.
Been a rough week for Tommy Harris, rough couple of weeks. 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle, #1 pick out of Oklahoma 2 games ago. He sat out because of an injured knee, and then when he was tardy in showing up to do some rehab work on that knee, was suspended for a game. And talked about how ultimately he has lost focus and gotten his relationship back in order in his faith and is hoping to get things turned around and be the player ultimately they expect him to be.
And that's the sign of a good, tight locker room, because Tommy Harris felt compelled to make the apology. His teammates knew he had made a mistake, accepted that, accepted the suspension for the one game. Lovie Smith did exactly the right thing, and you move on. You compare that to, say, what happened in New York with Plexico Burress and him trying to make sometimes excuses as to why he did it. That's a good sign for the Chicago Bears. And what's better is now when you have Israel Adonijah get moved to the inside.
Atlanta fumbles the ball. Chicago recovers the ball before he is touched and down by contact. The Chicago player fumbles the ball. Atlanta recovers again. Therefore, the 1st and 10 for Atlanta. Chicago will be charged with a timeout.
And the officials got it right. That's the most important thing. Here you can see right from the get-go, and it's all the elements. You really got to compliment the officials. Clearly it's a fumble. It's not down by contact. Tommy Harris has possession, starts to get up. It comes out, Atlanta's ball.
Ryan up under center, gives it to Michael Turner, and nowhere to go. Dusty Dvorak along with Lance Briggs in to make the tackle. That decision took almost as long as a decision from the Supreme Court. So we're finally back at it. 9 minutes to play until halftime.
You know, Atlanta's really trying to establish that run, and I understand that. They've done that to the degree. They need to start doing some play action on 1st down, because right now the 1st down running game is just not getting anything.
One big run today for Turner, the 23-yarder, earlier on this drive. Out of the I formation. Play fake. Ryan lost to the end zone. White, did he hang on? A flag comes in. It is ruled a touchdown. But we wait on the flag. What a throw. What a catch in traffic by Roddy White.
Ineligible player downfield, number 77. On the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So it's taken away.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a quick action pass, and as Matt Ryan starts to move around, you get caught with that lineman down the field. Here we go. You can see him pumping to the wide receiver with a quick little play fake. Not there. Now the linemen keep working down the field. This play was not designed in this way down the field, and clearly that's where you end up with the penalty.
Well, they're tending to Roddy White. He is a huge part of this Atlanta offense. We'll be back.
Sponsored by WebMD. Better information, better health.
Well, a touchdown throw to Roddy White, taken away after the penalty.
This is a broken route. They're looking for a quick little shot to Roddy White. He adjusts, seeing it's broken down. Matt Ryan just throwing up a catchable ball. Great catch by Roddy White.
And White was able to get up and walk off the field. So it looks like he's okay. And Finneran dropped it wide open on 2nd down.
Now, Brian Finneran, longtime veteran, here to help the locker room. You don't expect this from a Brian Finneran. He's too vested a veteran. You need this catch. He clearly was going to get upfield, try to make some yardage after it. This is where Matt Ryan now just bites his lip and says, okay, we'll dial up the next one.
So far, Ryan and company 3 of 6 on 3rd down, converting into 1st down. This one 3rd and 17. Douglas a catch at the 15. So now another field goal try. And Brian, I got to ask you. I mean, you know, you had great defensive teams in Baltimore. Here Chicago has been dominated in every way, shape, and form for the better part of what 26 minutes in this game, 25 minutes in this game. You had a chance to only be down 9-0, 6-0 if they miss.
Yeah, and they're as we see him line up and take the field goal shot here.
32-yarder for Elam, and it's 9-0.
Now you feel good defensively. You've held them to 3 field goals, but they're sitting at 141 yards they've given up in the 1st half.
Brian Urlacher Packer and the Bears trailing 9-0. Just under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. But Brian, I started to ask you, if you're Lovie Smith, how do you see things right now, down 9-0?
Well, you're breathing a sigh of relief that it's only 9-0. You realize this could be 21-0, just like when they opened up, when the Falcons opened against Detroit. You're glad for it to be 9, but you're scratching your head as to how are we going to stop these guys.
Devin Hester from the 10 to the 30, and that's where he'll be tackled. Coming up after this game, Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Some will see the Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals leaders in the NFC West. Others will see Green Bay and Seattle, or Philadelphia and the Niners. That's all coming up next here on Fox.
This is a big series for the Chicago Bears. They've got to show that they can hold on to this ball for a while and get a scoring drive before they lose control of this game.
Play action one way, Orton rolls the other, drops it off to Desmond Clark, the tight end, and that's a gain of 11. Let's send it to Los Angeles for a game break to Kirk Menefee.
And we take it to New Orleans, where the Saints are hosting the Raiders. Reggie Bush scores from 3 yards out. Saints with a 7-3 lead in the second quarter. But Tom and Brian, so far in this game, Drew Brees 14 for 14 in the passing department.
Well, he's almost as good as our Matt Ryan here. Obviously, Drew Brees, that crew down there, he's getting some people back healthy. New Orleans going to be a team to deal with moving down the way here.
It's good division.
Very good. Very good.
Play action again. Orton looks down the field, has a wide open Devin Hester. That's another first down to the Atlanta 40.
You know, you can see the Chicago Bears loosening up the game calls now. Matt Turner's letting Kyle Orton open this thing up. Devin Hester started last week against Detroit, is beginning to look like a legitimate receiver. Nice setup on the route, little wiggle on the inside, nice turn getting to the outside. He's beginning to look like a legitimate wide receiver.
Well, today the Bears again are playing without Brandon Lloyd, who is still nursing an injured knee. They try and go to the ground, and Jamal Anderson puts a stop to that. When you say starting to look like a wide receiver, what does that mean?
Well, obviously he's got the great speed, but uncontrolled speed is useless. You could be a 4.2, but if it's out of control, as a receiver, you've got to be able to work in and out of your breaks. You've got to have a rhythm and timing with your quarterback so he knows where you're going to be. Devin Hester is beginning to look like he understands what it is to play that position.
Looking around, and he finds Hester. There is a penalty flag in the secondary, and it's caught down to the 22-yard line. Another big pickup for Chicago.
Illegal contact, number 50 on the defense. A penalty is refused. The result of the play is a first down.
Now, this Atlanta defense has been hurt in the passing game. And obviously, as much as Chicago wants to run the ball, Kyle Orton has got a hot hand. Came off a career game against Detroit. He's in control of this passing offense. Another good route and throw to Devin Hester. Right now, this is the path for their success, throwing the ball.
Orton again to throw it. Flushed out of the pocket, still being chased, and he'll just throw it away. This is what you talked about, Brian, at the beginning of the game. The difference in this Chicago Bears offensive attack. You used the word explosive. So far this year, 18 pass plays have gone for 20 or more yards. That is tied for the 4th most in the NFL. And who would have thought that in a Chicago Bear offense?
Well, we're seeing the difference in the new Bears and the old Bears. The old Bears would still try to keep running the ball and shove it up in there. They have faith in Kyle Orton and the receivers outside. If they've got to throw it to move it, they're willing to do it.
Second down, handoff, and a flag comes in as Forte picks up almost 7. But Lawyer Malloy and the Atlanta defense are pointing that this is going against Chicago.
Holding, number 63 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
You know, Tom, this is an example of, again, the trust they have in Kyle Orton. He's doing a lot of checking now. He's getting them into the play that they want. And that's because they've got faith in Kyle Orton, whether it's run to pass, pass to run. Another example of how they're willing to put this offense on the back of Kyle Orton.
The former Atlanta Falcon, Roberto Garza, whistled for the infraction, backing him up 10. On second down and 20. The catch is made to Marty Booker, who made one of the most spectacular receptions you will ever see last week against Detroit. He is closing in on 520 career receptions. What a career it's been. And if you missed that catch, take a look. You were there, Brian Billick.
Well, I tell you what, this is one of the better catches I've ever seen. This is, again, Kyle Orton having faith in his receiver, Marty Booker. He told us the other day, the thing he's got to know about Booker, never overthrow him. Let him go up for the ball. As opposed to Devin Hester, never underthrow him. Let him go get it down the field.
On a 3rd and 5, lofted to the end zone to Booker. And he almost came down with a batted ball, but it's incomplete.
Well, that's that trust we're talking about again. He trusts Marty Booker to go up for this kind of jump ball. You're really asking a lot of your quarterback to throw this ball up almost blind. Here you're even with the DB, but you believe that your guy's going to come up with it, and he does with Marty Booker. Nice coverage by Stelz at the last minute, throwing the hand up. I'm sorry, I had that wrong. I got the wrong side of the bar. It's Brett Grimes. I gotta get my sheets right here, Tom.
And the kick is through the uprights from 36 yards away by Robbie Gould to make it a 6-point game. Play until halftime.
You know, the Chicago Bears, that last drive, were almost exclusively in a 2 tight end alignment. And they've got the tight ends to do it. I know Ron Turner really likes that alignment with Desmond Clark, Greg Olsen. We talked about the young Kellen Davis that looked very good in preseason. This gives them a lot of latitude. They're not only a legitimate run threat in their 2 tight end offense, but because of a guy like Greg Olsen and Desmond Clark, they can pop them into a 3 wide receiver look and be almost as good as a legitimate 3 wide receiver formation. That's going to press the Atlanta defense.
Gould hammers this one, and Norwood's going to bring it out 2 yards deep from the end zone. And out across the 25 and spins his way out to the 28. Audiences and critics agree that the new Fox Tuesday is the best night on television. It all starts with a new episode of Emmy award-winning series House at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by the smash hit Fringe at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Tuesday is all new, all night, right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. So now with just under 4 minutes, where they try and go down the field. Dangerous throw, really the first one today made by Ryan. Great coverage by Charles Tillman.
Yeah, they nice job of, again, here's a look at Matt Ryan, or a chance for Matt Ryan to mix it up on first down. It's not just run. They've tried to run Michael Turner up there, come out with a pass on first down. They're willing to have that balance with this young quarterback.
Second down. Couple of hearty collisions down there. Kevin Payne, Brian Urlacher, both making contact with Turner.
Now you can see why the Chicago Bear defense is so hard to run against. They got people flying downhill. They know what their gap responsibility is. Here you see Payne coming in from 12 yards deep. Strong safety coming up there and finishing off the tackle with Brian Urlacher. This is why they're as good a run defense as they are.
3rd down and 8 for Ryan. They're coming after him. Throws across the field and a catch for a first down to the 45 to Roddy White.
Again, I'm impressed with the way Matt Ryan throws the ball on the run. He gets outside the pocket, and he does a nice job of settling himself on the throw. Many times a quarterback will rush himself, but he kind of lets himself, his knees bend just a little bit. He sees the receiver at the top. He stays alive, uncovers himself around the defender, and gives a nice alley look to Matt Ryan.
breaks a pretty good one. That'll be a gain of 11 for Michael Turner. The NFL's leading rusher has been pretty quiet so far today against the Chicago defense.
Now there again, you can see just a straight downhill play. They're doing a number of things to try to get the Bear defense off their mark and then come right back and go right downhill, right at him, put a hat on a hat. Linebackers weren't as active that time. That's going to play to the strength of the Atlanta Falcons if they can get Michael Turner getting going downhill with that good physical straight-ahead running game.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. Atlanta leads Chicago 9-3.
Now Atlanta just cranked off a good run. Let's see if they want to build on that. Linebackers up in the gap. See if they want to play action throw off of this on first down.
2-minute warning at the Chicago 43. They're going to throw it to the end zone. And lots of contact down there, and a late flag comes in. They were looking for Roddy White, and he was running neck and neck with Charles Tillman. And Tillman is down.
Pass interference, number 84 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you rarely ever see that call.
Yeah, it's typically that's going to go to the defensive side at the tail end. We'll see here if Roddy White, although we still got a defender down, we're going to see if Roddy White down the field maybe did a little too much pulling and grabbing here near the end. Defensive backs in great position, got him pinned to the outside. You know, I don't know. I think Roddy White's just trying to stay up. I didn't see any jerk and pull on the defender. I don't know about that call.
Well, Charles Tillman, I mean, you talk about a guy that just makes plays. In his career, 19 interceptions, has forced 13 fumbles. I mean, this guy is a playmaker and a huge part of the Chicago defense. He missed the Philadelphia game with an injured shoulder, and you wonder if he's re-aggravated that going to the turf here.
Boy, you hope not. You know, Lovie Smith, it's interesting to watch Lovie Smith light up when he talks about Charles Tillman. He told us the other day that he is the one defender that has absolute free license to go after the ball anytime he wants. Doesn't have to wrap up, doesn't have to make the tackle, that he's free to go after the ball because Lovie Smith says he's the best he's ever seen in his entire career. Heck of a corner. Hopefully he didn't re-aggravate the shoulder here because that would be a big loss for the Chicago Bears.
Well, we've already mentioned their other starting quarterback, a Pro Bowler 2 years ago, Nathan Basher, was inactive for this game, still being bothered with an injured wrist.
He's carrying that in a way that's going to concern you. If they now have to come in with his backup and they've got 2 backup corners in the game, I don't know whether it's a Matt Ryan or not in the game. As a rookie, you're going to worry about that as the Chicago Bears.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights from around the league in the early action. And, of course, the Fox Sports ticker will keep you up to date with up-to-the-second statistics. Well, number 24, Marcus Hamilton, has come on the field to replace temporarily, anyway, Charles Tillman. There, you're going to look at Nathan Basher, who is inactive today.
Now, you would think the Bear defense with these 2 corners in the game and the way Matt Ryan's playing, we might see a little bit more of the vaunted Tampa 2, Dungy 2, whatever you want to call it. They burr up when you call it that here in Chicago. They say it's the Chicago.
There's a correction. 2. Chicago is not charged with a timeout due to the fact that we had offensive pass interference on Atlanta, and the man that was fouled is the man that was down. Therefore, by rule, it is not an opportunity to charge the defense with a timeout. So Chicago still has their 2 timeouts remaining.
And we are told it is the left shoulder for Tillman, the one that was already bothering him, so his return is questionable. First down at 20. Roddy White right back at it and carries it inside the 40 down to the 37. That's a great pickup on 1st and 20.
Now, Matt Ryan has made some hay now on these quick slants. Roddy White being real physical. That's a more difficult pass than you think. Quarterbacks traditionally don't like slant routes. They can't have vision on the linebacker. Those things are probably picked off as much as any route that a quarterback throws. Matt Ryan showing great confidence, great accuracy, throwing in a couple slant routes.
And they went right after Hamilton, who just replaced Tillman on the very first snap.
Chicago, this is their second. This will be a 30-second timeout.
You know, Matt Ryan said something interesting the other day, and I give their coaches a great deal of credit. Brian Musgrave is quarterback coach, and Mike Mularkey is coordinator. You always hear about a quarterback, the game slowing down. That a quarterback, when he really becomes a professional, when it slows down. And I asked Matt Ryan about that, and he gave just a brilliant answer. He says, well, I don't know what that is, Coach, but I know that things will happen for me more readily when I start to recognize things better. And that's exactly what you're talking about. The game, of course, physically doesn't slow down, but he starts to recognize things that much quicker. And that answer in itself tells me this is a very mature young man that knows what this game's about.
1:21 to play until halftime. The Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And on a 2nd and 5, Ryan out of the shotgun throws it high for White, who comes down with the ball, but maybe gains a yard. Stopped there by Graham. Clock continuing to run.
Now Roddy White's going to come back to his quarterback at some point and say, hey, bro, you got to keep that down for me, because I'm not going to last if you keep throwing those things high up like that.
Well, they huddle up prior to this 3rd and 4. A lot of time ticking off. And they're coming after Ryan. And it was nearly intercepted by Mike Brown. So for the first time really all day, pressure, heavy pressure applied by Chicago on Ryan.
And this is an example of, I don't know that we're on the same page. Somebody should have broke that route off with the pressure that Chicago was bringing. Clearly, that's what Matt Ryan expected, but wasn't on the same page with one of the receivers, whoever was responsible for that hot throw.
So that's a big stop right there for the Bears defensively.
It does.
This one punted inside the 5 and into the end zone, so the Bears will get it back with 35 seconds, 36 seconds left until halftime, and we will send you to Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report. For Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy, we'll tell you what's going on around the NFL.
That is a big stop, because they were getting close to field goal range, and had they been able to push into field goal range and indeed converted on the field goal, you're back to a 2-score game. Right now, it's a single-score game, right where you want it going into the half, so that was a big stop by the Bears.
Now, the Bears have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 36 seconds left, and they're going to put it in the air. And the catch is made by Booker out to the 27-yard line. Clock continuing to run.
Again, I think this is an indication of the faith they have in Kyle Bowler with less than, or Kyle Orton, excuse me, going back to my old days, with less than 30 seconds, letting him make a run at this thing in a 2-minute.
Lofted towards the corner, and it's overthrown. He had an eye on Devin Hester, stopping the clock. 12 seconds remain.
Yeah, I think Bear games in the past, Lovie Smith, back on your own 20, you're under 30 seconds or under 40 seconds. Okay, we got a 1-score game. Let's regroup here a little bit. Let's run the ball a couple times. But this shows you how they're expanding offensively. They've got faith in Kyle Bowler. Even though you're backed up, all we need is one good pass. Maybe Devin Hester breaks a tackle, and all of a sudden, maybe we're in scoring position.
Going to hand it off. 2:14. He's out to the 35-yard line. That'll end the opening half. Well, we wondered before this game started, as Rashid Davis is slow to get up. Brian Billick, you wondered, could Atlanta run the ball? A grand total of 39 yards rushing against Chicago defensively. And if they couldn't do it, could Ryan make the plays on offense? And so far,
and that's exactly right. And you got to look at Ryan, Matt Ryan, and you're looking at 13 at 17 for 148 yards, converting on 3rd down, 4 of 9 for 44%. You can't ask of anything more of an NFL quarterback than what we've seen of Matt Ryan in this first half.
Atlanta 198. The Bears only 104, and the overwhelming majority of those came on their second to last drive, which led to a field goal. Daniel Manning drops back to return the kick rather than Devin Hester. And he is leveled by Jason Snelling at the 22-yard line. And let's check in once again on the sideline with Buck Langford.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Coach Smith and Coach Smith at halftime. First Bears coach Lovie Smith said his team has not done a whole lot well. He said the Falcons are converting on third down. The Bears are not. Given that, he's pleased to be down only 6 points. On the other side, Coach Mike Smith with the Falcons said they've got to get touchdowns instead of field goals. He said rookie quarterback Matt Ryan has executed the game plan to perfection.
Chicago comes out throwing, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Jamal Anderson. We have called his name a great deal today. The #1 pick a season ago out of the University of Arkansas.
You see Jamal Anderson coming out on the right side of the screen here off this right side, and they really need for him to be a good player. They've got John Abraham on the left side. If they can get a good 1-2 punch with Anderson on the right side, and he should be that given he's a first-round draft choice last year.
Going to hand it off to Forte, who's had a very quiet opening half. Extremely quiet, in fact. Forte in the first stanza, 7 carries for 20 yards. And really, you go back over the last 68 now carries for Matt Forte, and he's only averaging a little better than 2 yards per carry.
Well, they're willing to use him in a lot of different ways, but clearly Chicago hasn't had a chance to get into a rhythm. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Atlanta has held on to the ball as long as it has.
Orton again batted down, and again it is Jamal Anderson.
They're doing a great job by the defensive line getting some quick pressure. They recognize it's a quick 3-step drop. Get your hands up. It's all about timing for a defensive lineman, recognizing when to leave your feet and get up in the air. Jamal Anderson with 2 big plays in this opening series.
Anderson making a statement with his hands, and that is something he's done since childhood. His father, deaf since birth, and so Jamal Anderson does a great deal of work with children, deaf children in the Atlanta area, and wants to open a school for the hearing impaired and deaf when his career is over. Here's a return by Adam Jennings, and he is leveled at the 22-yard line. So Matt Ryan and company will get the football for the first time in the second half when we return.
Low fares, no hidden fees. By Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. By Miller Lite, when it's game time, reach for the original. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. And by FedEx, your ultimate NFL air and ground player.
A 9-3 Atlanta lead. Take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. We'll do so after this first offensive play of the second half. And out of the shotgun, it's Jarius Norwood. And he'll take the snap and run it back up the middle. And he's all the way to the 41. So on the very first play of the second half, they have Norwood, a running back, in the shotgun, and a gain of 20.
Well, it's all just old single-wing football. This kind of becomes the vogue thing right now. You know, I've said it before, the quarterback in the running game is basically useless. And now to be able to get a direct snap to a back, you gain a man advantage, and it's a nice changeup.
Of course, Darren McFadden all of a sudden put that in vogue a season ago at the collegiate level with Arkansas. And for the first time today, Atlanta in the hurry-up offense. What a catch made on the far side by the rookie out of Louisville, Harry Douglas. And again, this hurry-up offense has been extraordinarily successful the times they have used it this season.
Oh, and to ask a rookie to orchestrate that against the Chicago Bear defense, another example of the faith they have in this young quarterback.
Roddy White looking at Matt Ryan saying, what are we doing? And they're handing the ball off to Turner, and he pushes ahead and picks up 3 yards. Now, some of those numbers in the opening half, I mean, every one of them clearly in favor of Atlanta.
That time of possession is what jumps out at you. 21 minutes to close to 10 minutes. You can see why Chicago's had a tough time getting into a rhythm. They haven't had the ball very much.
They continue in the hurry-up mode, and now Ryan will change it up.
And Chicago's changing with him. They're turning into more passive mode. You checked, I'll check.
They hand it off to Turner. A first down and in some. Briggs tackles him, but not before a gain of 13.
Now, I tell you what, this is a great job by Atlanta. We saw last week every time that Detroit tried to check Atlanta or Chicago checked to counter it. They knew that they're going to check. They went to a cover 2 defense, a good box to run against. Matt Ryan making the right call based on what he was anticipating.
Now they pitch it to Turner. Well, Corey Graham's made a couple of real nice plays stepping up from the cornerback position. And bear in mind, as we begin this second half, the Bears are basically down to a pair of backups at the corner spot. Vasher inactive, Tillman injured in the first half. Graham started last week and again today, and Hamilton has replaced the injured Tillman.
Now you're in field goal shape here. No huddle offense. You got to be very careful. You don't leave yourself vulnerable.
Watch play action.
Catch made by Jenkins, but a very short gain.
Now, I think that they'd want to huddle up to make this third down call. They may very well do it in a no huddle, but I would think they would huddle up. You got to give your rookie a chance. Now, no huddle's great, but down in the red zone here, you want a more orchestrated call on third down. You got field goal range. You certainly want to take a shot here. It's a convertible third down. You want a much more orchestrated call here.
Well, you made the call, 3rd and 8. Now, the last time they started in this formation, they ran a slant from the left side to Harry Douglas. He's on the left side. Out there with Marcus Hamilton. They throw it to the right side this time, and it's incomplete. White was looking for a flag.
Looked like the Bears, like you did, Tom, anticipated. They know what it was last time, this little scatter formation with a breakout. They were looking for a quick route, and a nice defense now forced them into what, yet again, a field goal.
And his frustration beginning to settle in at all for Atlanta as another drive deep into Chicago territory stalls. 41-yard attempt from Jason Elam. It was 3 for 3 today. And this one is up, and it is good. Elam now 4 for 4. Atlanta leads 12-3. 5 minutes into this second half. Bears coming in, the NFC North leaders at 3-2. The Falcons a game back of Carolina. And the NFC South also at 3-2. And last check, Carolina was getting it handed to them in Tampa Bay today. We'll keep you up to speed on that. Hester is back in the return game this time. And he's unable to get back to the 20. Great coverage by Atlanta.
You know, Arthur Blank was very specific about what he was trying to do in this offseason, bringing together a combination. There's Arthur Blank on the right. To his left, Thomas Dimitroff, the new general manager, in conjunction with then their hiring of Mike Smith, their head coach. It's very important to Arthur Blank that Mike Smith and Thomas Dimitroff create that type of partnership that it takes to be successful in this league.
And so far, real good. Real good. Forte trying to cut it back the other way and has some running room out to the 25. That'll be a 7-yard pickup. You know, if you look at their draft choices, they had 11 draft choices this year. 2 of them in the first round, and really the foundation of a team, Brian Billy.
They do. You're talking about your quarterback, your left tackle with the other first-round pick in Baker, your inside linebacker, who they're very excited about in Lofton, and then Jackson and Douglas contributing. So this was a good, solid first draft to base your organization on.
Well, you couldn't have had a rockier 2007 in the Falcons did. I mean, it was just an unmitigated disaster on the field and off the field. They're blitzing. And again, it is Jamal Anderson making a stop on Forte. 3rd down upcoming, and we will check in once again with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, the Lions looking for their first victory of the season. Dan Orlovsky starting for the injured John Kitna. Gets his first NFL touchdown into the hands of Calvin Johnson. He held on to it long enough to cross the plane of the goal. It is now 10-2. That should be 10-2. Detroit on top of Minnesota. Back to Tom and Brian.
3rd and 3. And they hand it off. And a big gainer. All the way out to the 45-yard line.
This is a great play call by Ron Turner. You've got them all spread out. Defensively, Atlanta's done the same thing with this big hole in the middle. Run a quick trap in the middle. And Matt Forte is shown to be very good on third down runs. I imagine Chicago, I don't know this for a fact, but I would bet that they lead the league in third and medium runs.
So first down out to the 45. Forte again. And coming up to wrap him up and drive him down is Michael Bolin.
You know, in talking to Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator, he has a tremendous amount of faith in Matt Forte. He told me that there's absolutely nothing in their playbook that he doesn't think he can't go to simply because this guy's a rookie. I'm talking about flanking him out like receiver, motioning him out, protection. He's the complete package as a rookie.
First rookie tailback to start a season opener since the late great Walter Payton all the way back in 1975 for the Chicago Bears. Kevin Jones gives him a breather. He spins away from one tackle, causing the pressure initially was Abraham, and then had help behind him.
Here Kyle Orton is beginning to do a lot of checks at the line. They're trying to take advantage of what Atlanta's giving them. They trust Kyle Orton. They got to do something to get this offense started. Looks like they're putting it in Kyle Orton's hands to get them to the right play.
They're coming after Orton. He gets it away to Hester. And what a tackle, whether it's a tackle by Grimes or whether Hester lost his footing trying to cut it back up the middle. He will be short of the first down by maybe a yard. And a decision now perhaps for Lovie Smith. Does he go for it this part of the field?
Well, he's got to do something to change the emotional tenor of this game, and it looks like going for it on this 4th and 1 is the call. Be very surprised if this weren't a run.
Forte cuts it back to the inside. Boy, what a savvy move by the rookie Forte, the 22-year-old out of Slidell, Louisiana.
This is the patience. You talk to Matt Forte and you talk about how fast this game is. He said, yeah, it's fast, but the thing I've got to learn is to be patient. And there's a good example of it. The ability to stretch, read your blocks, slow down, then make that cut. I'm amazed at how often Chicago is willing to put the ball in the hands of Matt Forte in critical third down situations.
Well, Forte leads the NFL in getting first downs on third down. And another one there on a 4th down. Here's a catch made by Hester. That is a pickup of 15 to the Atlanta 29.
Here's another example of the maturation of Devin Hester as a route runner. He does a nice job of setting this up. A little wiggle to the inside, then a nice turn and coming back at an angle to where it's a nice safe throw for the quarterback. Another nice example of how Devin Hester is growing as a wide receiver in this offense.
He's been forced to play a lot more these last couple of weeks as you look at the numbers for each quarterback. Solid numbers for both. But neither quarterback has gotten his team into the end zone. Little delay to Forte, who spins out of a tackle, and he's down to the 23.
I'm guessing this is a two-play in the huddle call for the quarterback. They've been able to hit this little quick hitter up the middle. They spread it out. If he doesn't get the look he wants, then he can check it and maybe get to a quick outside throw. But Atlanta has given him the look that he wants on the defensive line to allow him to get that quick little hitter up the middle.
2nd and 5, a short drop for Orton, and he's looking to the end zone for Hester. An excellent coverage out there by Brent Grimes.
There again, I think we saw an example of a Kyle Orton controlling the calls at the line of scrimmage, looking at what the defense that Atlanta wants to give them. Atlanta is not a real multiple defense, pretty clear cut on the looks that you're going to get, and they're relying on Kyle Orton to make those calls. Now again, this is one of the best teams in the league on 3rd down conversion. They need one here to keep this drive alive.
3rd and 5. Another 3rd down conversion goes to Booker to the Atlanta 12, and all of a sudden Chicago dominated this entire game, knocking on the door to draw within 2.
We saw Matt Ryan on the other side convert a couple 3rd downs with just a simple quick slant. Marty Booker using his size and strength to break to the inside. Kyle Orton putting it right on the money for a key 3rd down. You got 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line.
They faked it to Forte, then threw it to Forte, and the rookie lunges forward close to the 5.
The Bears are an excellent job of a tight, quick inside screen. Not a lot of people run this. Rather than traditional wide screen on the outside, it's a quick play fake. They block down. The back quickly turns around, and the linemen get out in front of the play. Bears are one of the best at doing this and are excellent at executing it.
3:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 4, they pitch it to Forte, cuts it back to the inside, and he is met by Curtis Lofton, the rookie 2nd-round pick out of Oklahoma, short of a 1st down.
Interesting call here now. You've been in a couple 3rd and shorts. You've run the ball. You're shown a willingness to put the ball in Matt Forte's hand. Might be an excellent place for a little play-action fake. You want to be a run-oriented team. I'm sure Lovie Smith would love to see you shove it up in here. Might be a great place for a little play action.
Forte tiptoes his way to the end zone. So just like that, a most impressive drive put together by Kyle Orton and company. And with a point after, they're less than a field goal away from the lead.
And now the key is, how are the Falcons going to respond? This young team had it pretty much their way all day. And now we're going to see if they can respond to the emotional swings of this game. This young team coming together behind their young quarterback. We'll see how they respond. And it shows you the faith they have in him.
8 minutes and 12 seconds, spanning 82 yards and 14 plays, capped off by the touchdown from Forte. Carried it 8 times for 39 yards, including the touchdown. So we will find out how Ryan and the young Falcons respond in a moment. Atlanta has made plays offensively, made plays good enough to get into Chicago territory, but unable to score touchdowns. 4 field goals from Jason Elam. Now all of a sudden the Bears get a field goal to get on the board in the 2nd quarter, score a touchdown, the game's first here in the 3rd quarter. And now how does Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense respond, leading by 2? We're going to hand it off to Turner on 1st down. And he picks up maybe a yard. Coming down to make the tackle is Kevin Payne.
Well, the Bears are getting much more active with their front 7, as we talked about. The linebackers, Hillemeyer, Lance Briggs, and Brian Urlacher, they're going to make it tough on Matt Ryan. And here they go again into a no-huddle.
strong safety spot to make the tackle. Slowed down initially after good penetration by Dusty Dvorak. So 3rd and long for Ryan and Atlanta.
Another 3rd and long for Matt Ryan. He's been very good so far today. He's certainly faced a lot of them. And they need a conversion here. They're running the risk of losing the emotional back and forth of this game if they don't convert here.
Out of the shotgun, Ryan, good protection, wide open, caught by Douglas, all the way to the 27.
Great throw by Matt Ryan down the field, a 3rd and 10, taking an all-or-nothing shot down the field. I think we're watching this young man grow up very decisively right now. Again, now in the red zone, can they come away with a touchdown and not a field goal?
Ryan to throw on 1st down. Looking to the end zone in traffic. A batted ball and incomplete. He was looking for White with great coverage by Hamilton and had help from Mike Brown.
Now, this is the first real mistake I've seen Matt Ryan make. This route was open early. He hesitates just a little bit long and throws late, deep, and that was a mistake on Matt Ryan's part. That was an ill-advised throw. Now after the penalty, it's going to back them up out of field goal range. Changes entirely your play call now.
Well, it'll be 1st and 20 rather than 2nd and 10. And apparently it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. This must have been a personal foul of some kind. The referee's microphone, Alberto Riveron, not working right now.
I got to discuss it here a little bit. Come on, Roberto, give us a little help here.
The clock should not have started due to the fact that it was an incomplete pass. Clock operator, please reset the clock to show 26 seconds. Thank you.
Well, his microphone worked fine there. We never heard, though, the penalty.
Well, this changes the complexion of the drive now. Now it's almost about salvaging field goal position as much as trying to come away with a touchdown. Sitting there with a 1st and 25.
Ryan steps up and throws it away. First time he's taken a pretty good lick the entire afternoon. We understand the penalty was a chop block.
What a chop block is, you can't have a person engaged. Excuse me, wrong side on the backside. We don't have the backside shot of it. But what a chop block involves is you can't have one offensive lineman engaged in a block and have another defender next to him cut him out from underneath. And that is not only a penalty, it's a possible fine.
2nd and 25. Pump fake. And lofting it to Roddy Wright. He makes the catch. And look at the extra effort to get close, if not accomplish a 1st down.
Well, that's one of those plays that you watch this young man make, and if it doesn't work, you're all over him for making a dumb rookie mistake. Now he's just being an NFL quarterback, making something happen and making a big play down the field that now pushes them back into the possibility of a touchdown.
End of the 3rd quarter. We're back after a word from your local Fox station. Set to begin the final quarter at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Falcons with a 12-10 lead over Chicago. And Atlanta at the Bears' 17-yard line. This is Michael Turner. An excellent pursuit by Urlacher. Got some help from Hamilton. And it'll be a loss of a yard.
A couple times now Atlanta has tried to fake a reverse to try to get Chicago to pause and shove Michael Turner up on the play side. At some point we might see that reverse come into fruition, but right now they're using it strictly as a way to get Michael Turner turned loose.
19 rushes, only 50 yards for Turner. They're going to fake it to him, and then it's just thrown away. Heavy pressure and a big hit on Ryan by Hunter Hillenmeyer.
Hunter Hillenmeyer sees clearly this is going to be a boot. So as he comes down, rather than coming too flat, which you're counting on, he stays upfield on an excellent course to now get in the face of Matt Ryan and make this a very difficult throw.
Well, here they are again, Brian Billick. Inside the red zone, a 3rd and long, nothing but field goals so far today. Can they keep the drive alive? Caught by Finneran. 1st and goal at the 5. A flag came in from the secondary, which leads you to believe this is against Chicago.
Holding, number 21, on the defense. That penalty is refused. The result of the play is a first down.
Again, a 3rd and long. Another 3rd and long that Atlanta has faced. Matt Ryan. Again, slants have been big in this game for both teams. Brian Finneran setting up on the outside, getting a good stab. Corey Graham having to grab as he goes by. Huge 3rd down conversion for Atlanta.
Can the Falcons get into the end zone for the first time, or will the Bears stop them again? Turner on a 1st down carry gets 2.
There again, we saw that little, what's called a ghost action. You bring a receiver into motion, you run what could be in a reverse, and you call it a ghost action, meaning that you're giving the defense a look, a faint look that, wait a minute, should we pause? What's going on backside? Should we stay home for the reverse, hoping to get them to pause so Michael Turner can get started downhill in the play?
We're going to roll out Ryan, and Roddy White a touchdown. They pick on Marcus Hamilton, the replacement of the injured Charles Tillman.
Now, I tell you what, the hardest thing a quarterback has to do is run to his left in a sprint action and make that kind of throw on the run to his left. Outstanding for Matt Ryan.
Point after by Elam is good. 9 receptions, 112 yards, and now a touchdown for White. We wonder, how would Ryan and the Falcons answer? The momentum swing, the momentum's back to their side.
Let's go take him out.
Matt Ryan, rookie quarterback. He doesn't look like a rookie on the field or over on that sideline.
You know, it's interesting. He told us he learned from his parents as a rookie, you're to be seen and not heard. And he said, that's true, and that's the way I conduct myself until I get on the field. Well, off the field there, it looked like he was being heard a lot more.
It's fielded by Wolf out across the 20, and he has some daylight. Garrett Wolf still on his feet all the way out to midfield. 2nd year back out of Northern Illinois. But Chicago in great field position, down 9. Long way to go. And the Bears with a football, still 13-15 to play here in the 4th quarter. Mike Smith and the Falcons holding a 19-10 lead. But the Bears with the ball at midfield. After an outstanding drive culminating in a touchdown the last time they had it. Play fake to Jones. And the long ball for Devin Hester. Incomplete.
Penalty. 7 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That'll back them up 10. Their last drive, they put the hands of Matt Forte on the football regularly.
Well, that last drive, this is what got them going. Of 14 plays, 8 of them went to Matt Forte. And with the great kickoff return to start this drive, they can stay in that kind of profile if they choose to, but only for a couple more drives because this is a 2-score game now, and they can stay within a conventional offense maybe for one more series before they've got to think about that 2-score differential.
Forte met at the line of scrimmage. Chauncey Davis, fourth-year lineman out of Florida State, up to make the stop.
You know, that penalty just kills you. You got 1st and 10 on the 50-yard line, a short field. Now all of a sudden after the penalty, you're looking at 1st and 20. And now that affects the entire dynamic of what you're trying to get done. You get stoned on the first play. Bears are pedaling uphill just a little bit right now.
Orton in trouble, able to dump it off to Forte. He beat Boley, but Boley slowed him down enough where Chevis Jackson came up to make the tackle.
This is a heady play by Kyle Orton. Starts to scramble, knows where everybody is, figures, you know what? As much as I want to do this, I think I'll let Matt Forte have this ball. Everybody's collapsed around him. Now gets him down to a much more convertible 3rd and 10.
It's a big play in this game. 12 minutes left. And the Bears down 9. Orton in trouble, has to throw it away. Heavy pressure by Brooking, by Abraham, as a flag comes in on the near sideline over by the Atlanta side. We'll see what this is about.
Both sides lobbying for a call here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Intentional grounding on the passer and the offense. Offsides on the defense, number 20. Those penalties will offset. It will remain 3rd down.
Well, they get away with one there on both sides. Would have been a freebie. Would have been a freebie for Chicago. Looks like number 20, Grimes, is lining up offsides. Boy, this is a cardinal sin right here. All the way out, removed from the play, not aligning properly, not affecting the rush in any way. That's a big mental error by the young man from Atlanta.
Still 3rd and 9. Slant to Hester. That is a 1st down and more to the Falcons 35.
Well, slants have been the order of the day on any 3rd down. This is another one. Devin Hester, nice stab route on his part. Obviously, the DB giving him respect because of his speed and a nice, quick, efficient throw. Typically, a slant on 3rd and 10 is a little bit long to get a 3rd down conversion off that route. But obviously, that's been the route of the day because both sides have converted with that simple slant route.
Hester, a career-high 5 receptions last week against Detroit. He ties his career-high 5 of them for 70 yards today against Atlanta. And they hand it off for the first time to Kevin Jones on this drive, and he picks up a couple of yards.
Now, we've been talking about the score differential all day. It's a 2-score differential with 9 points in favor of the Falcons. As much as, again, as you want a touchdown, the Bears have to be very conscious of a field goal, putting it back into a single-score game.
Phenomenal numbers for Ryan. Solid numbers for Orton. He throws it again. Catch is made by the tight end Olsen, and that is a 1st down to the Atlanta 18.
Now, this is some of the latitude they have with their tight end, 2 tight end package. They've put Greg Olsen on the outside of the wide receiver specifically to see the matchup. Here you can see the wide receivers on the inside. Out of your screen right now is Greg Olsen on the outside. They got the matchup they wanted, and when you have a tight end with the athleticism of a Greg Olsen, it gives you that latitude.
Olsen, the Bears' 1st-round pick out of Miami a season ago. Had a couple of critical fumbles in a devastating loss to Carolina. And now Orton again looking around. Finds his other tight end, Desmond Clark. And he has a 1st down to the Atlanta 7.
Now the The Bears said going into the game that because of the nature of the Atlanta defense, that their running backs and tight ends were going to have to be a big part of the passing game. Haven't seen it up to this point a lot, but here the last 2 plays go to tight ends. First to Greg Olsen and then to Desmond Clark underneath.
First and goal. Lofted to Olsen, and he got tangled up with Grimes and incomplete. You know, Coach, I got to tell you, and you would know this as a former offensive coordinator for many, many years. I'll ask you in a minute.
All right, here you got Greg Olsen on the outside. They're looking for that matchup, looking for a size matchup on the outside. They get it, needed just a little bit more loft to let Greg Olsen use that size. They got the matchup they wanted. They got the big Greg Olsen up against a 5'10" Brent Grimes. Couldn't quite convert it.
Second and goal. They pitch it to Forte. Cuts it back to the inside. And maybe about a half-yard short of a touchdown.
We talked about the patience that Matt Forte is learning as a running back. Watch what a great job he does as he gets to the outside, slow playing it, waiting for that seam, putting his foot in the grass, and now just a slight cut off the backside of the tackle or the lead blocker, getting it down to the 1-yard line.
The lead blocker, Jason McKee, is a lone setback. He gets the ball, and still no signal. This is unquestionably, well, I shouldn't say unquestionably, 4-down territory here. I mean, you're that close, and, you know, do you go ahead and take the 3 now and have to get 7 the next time, or do you go for the touchdown here?
Conventional thinking says you kick it, but you've got to send a message here that you believe in your running game. Looks like Lovie Smith's going to go for it. Certainly to have to come back to get a field goal to get ahead rather than a touchdown is an easier task. This down in, he's showing faith in his offense right here.
McKee and Olsen leading the way for Forte. Did he get in? He is denied.
The same situation as Chicago faced against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that was huge for them in that game and turning the tide. This may prove the same way for the Atlanta Falcons.
But that last yard they can't get on 4th and 1. And now they go on defense and Ryan on first down, and it's blown dead before it ever gets started. Well, you can't back them up much more.
And clearly this is down here, you tend to hard count. It's classic. Every team in the league does it, because if you're wrong
on the defense, number 98, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
If you're wrong and it goes against you offensively, it's cost you a couple inches. But if you can catch the defense, now you put yourself in a 1st and 5.
I'm not sure exactly what Dusty Dvorak did right there to be called for a delay of game.
Must have flinched or something to draw the offensive player into moving.
At least a little bit of breathing room. A first down carry for Turner, and not much there. Let's go back to the 4th down play.
You know, Lovie Smith, I understand what he was doing. I'm going to make a statement. I trust my offense. Physically, they've had a great drive, but in doing so now, Atlanta made a statement that's saying, no, we can have this kind of defensive stop. As I alluded to earlier, you saw Chicago have the same kind of play against Philadelphia 2 weeks ago that defined them. This could be a defining moment for this Atlanta Falcons defense.
Brooking, the 5-time Pro Bowler, along with the entire front 7. Denying Forte the end zone. Turner back to the line of scrimmage. Presents 3rd down. Clock winding down to 7 minutes here in Atlanta. What a huge win this would be for the youthful Atlanta Falcons under their first-year head coach Mike Smith.
This is one of those situations with the quarterback. This is why you make the big bucks. You're telling the kid, look, you know the situation. You need to make the big play, but whatever you do, don't mess up. And that's a lot to put on a young man's plate. We're going to see what Matt Ryan does.
Ryan out of the shotgun. A short throw and a catch by Douglas. Excellent coverage and an excellent tackle by Graham. And now the Falcons have to punt it out of their own end zone.
One of the things that makes a great defense is your ability to make an open field tackle. Here you can see an aggressive read on the outside by Graham, comes up, sure-handed tackle that leaves him short of the third down.
Devin Hester standing back near midfield. Has 12 return touchdowns in his career, 7 of them punt return touchdowns. He'll signal for a fair catch here. Still plenty of time, just under 6 minutes, but the Bears need a couple of scores.
Look to get back in the series against the Phillies. NLCS Game 3 tonight following football on Fox.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Cadillac. Introducing the 2009 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid.
Just under 6 minutes to play at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. The Bears with the football, trailing in 19-10. Comes out throwing, finds a tight end, Olsen, and he is able to get out of bounds after a gain of 4.
Another one of these 2 tight end alignments by the Bears, using the 2 tight ends, Desmond Clark and Greg Olsen, in a lot of effective ways. That they lined up like a 3 wide receiver set, and as we said earlier, both can legitimately give that threat. They're in another one here with Greg Olsen in what would traditionally be a wide receiver slot alignment.
Orton steps up again, another very short pass, and it's through the hands of Olsen. 3rd down. Clock at 5:32, and the Bears have all 3 timeouts remaining, but they need to score quickly.
They do. They're getting at the point where after this series, they pretty much down 2 scores, have to get into some form of no-huddle offense to increase the tempo of the game.
17-27 for Orton. He's not thrown an interception, nor has he thrown a touchdown. Over the middle, what a catch by Clark. He just snatched that ball away from the rookie Lofton.
Well, like we said, they're getting into a hurry-up mode now. The clock is working against them. Now, whether it's 3 points or a touchdown, they got to score, get the ball back, and give themselves a chance to go ahead in this game.
They hand it off to Forte. That's going to chew up some valuable time as they try and hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Clock at 5 minutes and now less. Told you the Bears have all 3 timeouts remaining. Likewise for Atlanta. Down the middle, Olsen to the 14. And Orton urging his troops to get up to the line of scrimmage as the clock is down to 4.5.
You can see why they're excited about Kyle Orton doing a great job here in the no-huddle. And they're doing no-huddle in a 2-receiver set. That gives them a lot of latitude. They can get in a 3-wides look, a 4-wides look, or line up and run the ball in a legitimate 2 tight end alignment as well.
Pump fake, and then he just throws it out of bounds. Bierman and Davis applying the pressure on Orton.
Particularly when you have this much time left, to be able to do a no-huddle in what is traditionally a spread alignment with 2 tight ends. It allows Kyle Orton, if he chooses to get them in a 2-by-2 or a true alignment of a tight end alignment. Maybe put one of them in the backfield and get in 9, just go downhill against a defense that's really thinking about 2 minutes. So you have a lot of latitude in under 5 minutes with a 2 tight end personnel grouping.
And the tight ends again are split wide of the wide receivers in a 4-receiver formation. Pump fake, incomplete. Let's send it quickly to Los Angeles to Kurt Menefee.
I just want to remind you guys that Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader comes your way as T.O. and the Dallas Cowboys head into the desert to face the Cardinals. Of course, much of the talk this week about Pac-Man Jones. We will see how he and the Cowboys deal with that just as soon as you guys are done there in Atlanta. Tom and Brian.
Kurt, thank you. 3rd down and 10. They're coming after Orton. He gets it away, but Booker didn't even have time to turn around.
Miscommunication there. Kyle Orton was expecting a break off by Booker on the right side. Instead, Booker took the ball down the field. Kyle Orton looking for a quick throw. Had he broken inside, might very well have scored, but we're not on the same page, didn't see it the same way.
Well, this will be a 32-yard field goal try. Well, Robbie Gould, a Pro Bowler 2 years ago, has hit 27 of his last 30. Good snap, good hold, good kick. 4 minutes to play in Atlanta. It is a 6-point game.
I love steak, man.
Enjoy your steaks, gentlemen.
This is fun, isn't it? It all starts Tuesday at 8, 7 Central. So new, so Fox.
Coming up tonight, Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers and the Phillies, with Philadelphia leading in a best-of-7, 2 games to none. It begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, in high definition only on Fox. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Ken Rosenthal, Chris Myers standing by at Dodger Stadium. Norwood will bring it out. And he's out across the 20 with a kicker to beat. Norwood down the sideline, all the way to the 20.
See, as this thing develops, it's a classic cutback start one way, huge alley coming back, leaving him one-on-one with the kicker, getting them down in great scoring position.
Garrett Wolf able to run him down.
Great explosion by Darius Norwood, doing a great job of exploding through the break and getting as much yardage as he possibly can.
Norwood has blinding speed. It'll be Turner on the handoff. He loses the yard.
Now, this is a classic situation for Atlanta. You're in field goal position. You can take it back to a 2-score game. You have 2 functions here. Take as much time off the clock as you possibly can, preserve field goal position, and hopefully take this thing down well under 3 minutes, possibly down as much as 2:30, even to the 2-minute break, certainly if you can get a first down and make this a 2-score game.
Again, a reminder, coming up next on our Fox NFL Sunday Double Dip. Do the Cardinals have what it takes to hang with the Cowboys? Cardinals off to a good start under a rejuvenated Kurt Warner at cornerback.
And they're playing at home where the Cardinals can be very, very good.
Second down carry is to Turner, who's had a quiet day and 1 run for 23 yards. He's carried it 23 other times for 30 yards outside of the 1 big hit.
And the Bears, Lovie Smith, good use of his timeout now. Obviously, he can't let Atlanta do just what I was talking about. Suck that clock down. You've got to assume they're going to come up with the field goal. You don't capitulate anything, but assuming they come away with the field goal, rather than thinking you're going to hold on to those timeouts for my offense, they can suck down way too much clock. Atlanta can in this situation. They're apt to get another timeout if Atlanta runs the ball on this 3rd down, which is probably what they should do.
in the I formation. And they hand it to Turner. And he is stopped at the 14, and Chicago probably spends its final timeout right now. Although the clock is still running.
No, they're not using the timeout. This surprises me a little bit. If Atlanta's smart, they're going to get their field goal team on. They're going to let this clock go down as far as they can. You work this all the time. They have a number of different sayings to it. You let it go up. The snapper will communicate to the offensive line, although it looks like Mike Smith is going to let this clock come down. No use holding on to your timeouts and take them into the locker room. Mike Smith's talking to the official. He's going to let this thing come down to 1 or 2 seconds, take as much clock off the time as he can, and then go ahead and kick it.
Tell you, you look at Mike Smith. Obviously, we made mention that he is your brother-in-law. You and he are married to sisters. But Mike Smith, he grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida, one of 8 children in his family. His father told him, I'll send you to a private school, but you've got to pay half the tuition. And you're talking about a 15-year-old kid. His dad said somehow, some way, he always came up with the money. His senior year in high school as a linebacker, he broke his arm. He loved football so much, he went to his high school coach, said, how can I help? He made him a linebackers coach. He played in college, played well in college, 1 year in the Canadian League, and has been a lifetime coach. And this is a huge field goal for Smith and the Falcons. Elam missed it. Wow.
Well, the best laid plans. You handle the clock exactly right. You get the big kickoff return. You try to make it a 2-score game. You bring the clock down as best you can. Now it comes down to a snap, a hold, and a kick. There's 3 parts to every kick. Looks like the snap is good. The hold is good. He just shanks it.
Looked like he took a divot out of the turf.
Now you're looking at a timeout by the Bears, 2:46, down by 1 score. They got their complete offense available to them.
Bears have a chance to win this thing. A touchdown and a point after, and they go home winners in a game that they have been dominating. Now bear in mind, they used 2 timeouts defensively on the last Atlanta drive, so they have 1 remaining.
This is now a time for Atlanta to step up defensively. They've done a good job all day long.
Horton to Desmond Clark. That is a first down to the 36-yard line.
They've had the great goal line stand. They've made a tough day for Chicago on 3rd downs. But now this is the true test of this first-year defense under Mike Smith, is to can they preserve the victory.
Horton steps up and lofts it to Clark, incomplete, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Kyle Orton has had 1 fourth-quarter winning drive. Does he have another?
Today's Game On.
The best online highlights are on NFL.com.
Chicago, the 2-minute warning with the football at their own 36-yard line, trailing by 6. And a flag comes in, and a flag rightfully so. Grimes had a lock on Devin Hester, and that'll be an automatic first down. All right, Brian Billick, you have the great defensive teams in Baltimore. This is not a great defensive team in Atlanta. They've had a good game.
Interference, number 23 on the defense, automatic first down.
What are you thinking now defensively if you're Atlanta?
Well, you've got to change it up. You just can't sit passive, let them chip their way down the field and be in a position to get a touchdown on 1 or 2 plays. You've got to change it up a little bit, bring some pressure. Can't be crazy about it. You don't want to let Devin Hester run free down the middle of the field, but you can't be too passive in this situation.
Play clock down to 5. They get it off. And looking for Hester. Just off the fingertips.
The second half, the Atlanta defense has really stepped up. The Chicago Bear team's got good balance, run and pass. You know, it's all been about the offense, Matt Ryan. This is an opportunity for the Atlanta defense to really create a name for itself. make this part of their identity as a complete team.
And none bigger than that fourth down play inside the 1. 2nd and 10. Lay it off for Forte, and he's still on his feet. Nearly stripped from behind by Abraham. The clock continues to run. He only picked up 4.
They're going to wait to use the timeout. They're going to let Kyle Orton go ahead and make his 3rd down call. Obviously, this is 2-down territory. They can use 2 downs to get the first. No use in punting here.
Across the middle, that is good enough for a first down to Forte. To the Atlanta 44. 1:10 left as Orton tries to get him to the line of scrimmage.
Atlanta doing a good job of substituting its defensive lineman, trying to keep him fresh to get a rush on Kyle Orton.
Catch made by Rasheed Davis, and he's down to the Falcon 34. Clock down to 52, 51, 50.
Kyle Orton orchestrating everything, telling everybody where to go, what he wants. Looks like got the tight end in for protection.
Across the middle, it is Hester. To the 17, a first down. The clock is now under 30. The Bears have 1 timeout remaining. And who calls a timeout here?
Again, we're seeing the development of a receiver here. We got Hester getting that good depth, snapping it off, working into the void in the zone, in underneath the safeties and over the top of the backers. Kyle Orton trusting him where to be, puts the ball up high, allowing Hester to go up and get it. Good height over the linebackers, doesn't want a chance of underthrowing it. There again, very much a part of the growth of Devin Hester as a wide receiver.
Kyle Orton, the starter in 05, led them to the playoffs. All they did back then was lean on their defense and have Orton manage the game. He sat all of 2006. Played in 3 games last year. Won the starter's job this year. Has played brilliantly. And now trying to lead Chicago to an extraordinary win if they get to the end zone. Orton rolls, throws it away.
They're getting close to the point now at 23 seconds where an underneath throw, and this is what the Atlanta defense has to keep in mind. If he's forced to drop the ball underneath, he's apt to get one more play off. He could kill it possibly, but in this instance, you've got to be very careful about dropping the ball underneath, not taking that end zone shot, because you're going to use up a big chunk of clock.
Ball at the Atlanta 17, 2nd down. Bears down 6 to the end zone. Incomplete. And an eye on Booker. Excellent coverage by Chris Houston. The 2nd-round pick out of Arkansas, and Booker slow to get up.
Like we said, you pretty much have to go to an end zone shot, putting the ball up. As we talked about earlier, the key with Booker is to give him a chance to go up and make the play. Make it a jump ball, and typically he'll come down with that throw.
Welcome those of you just joining us. Chicago with a ball at the Atlanta 17, down by 6 to the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago, Rasheed Davis. What has happened here in the last 8 minutes of this game?
Well, clearly, they got in behind the depth of the secondary for a corner shot. Rasheed Davis had heard much from him all day long. Comes up with a big catch from Kyle Orton for what could be a winning touchdown.
Obviously, the point after. Perhaps the difference between a win and a little more football. Atlanta will spend a timeout. I mean, you go back at what has happened here in the last few minutes. It is so hard to believe Chicago is in line to win this game.
Well, the key to this is that Kyle Orton had time to wait this out. He sees he had the bracket coverage. Now on the outside, on the defense, Chris Houston hesitated for a second. Something drew his attention underneath that allowed Rasheed Davis to get in behind him. Can't quite figure out what it is Houston was looking at that got him to freeze. Kyle Orton fired up, obviously. This is the next step for him to take total control of not only this team, but the fans, the media, everything about being the Chicago Bears starting quarterback.
Well, I mean, you go back to a couple of plays in this game. Lovie Smith made the decision on 4th and 1, down 9, to go for it. They get stuffed at the goal line. Then after the big return, they missed the short field goal, the first miss from Elam all year long, and now this.
This is obviously being looked at by the NFL inside 2 minutes. There is no coaching challenge. They want to make sure they get it right. They're looking for both feet inbounds and total possession, even going to the ground. The receiver even going to the ground, even though he has possession with both feet inbounds, has to show possession all the way to the ground. Looks like it's in firm position there. Looks like it's a touchdown.
Make sure with under 2 minutes here.
Again, the key is you have to have control all the way to the ground. Any kind of bobble, any kind of movement. Does the ball come out? I don't see it.
And nobody's challenging this because it's in the final 2 minutes of a half of the game.
Correct. So this is up in the replay booth. This is strictly an official's call. They're looking at it. There's no question that it's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown.
And it is confirmed. Kyle Orton on the drive, 7 of 11 for 71 yards. And, of course, the touchdown strike to Davis. But now the point after. Patrick Manley will snap it. Brad Maynard will hold it. Robbie Gould will kick it. And it's good. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, there again, and I don't want to beat up on the young man Houston, but I don't know what it was. They had bracket coverage on Rasheed Davis. It's just what you want at the top. I got him outside. Safety's got him inside. We've got him bracketed, and for whatever reason, Houston blinked and let Rasheed Davis get in behind him to the corner of the end zone. Kyle Orton with a perfect arc ball, all or nothing. So often you see that ball fly out of bounds on the outside. He knows what this is. He knows what this means to this team. This is a football team that's been 4 out of 6 on the road. Had a huge win against Philadelphia. 2 wins on the road. This really at now 4-2, if indeed this holds up, can catapult the Chicago Bears into being one of the elite teams in the NFC.
The Bears, their next 3 games will be at home. They'll play next weekend against Minnesota, have a bye week, and then host Detroit and a really rock-solid Tennessee team, which so far is unbeaten. All right, now we still have 11 seconds left. And Jarius Norwood had that big return just a short while ago, but they're going to put it on the ground. And still on his feet, running towards the sideline and tackled to the 45 is Harry Douglas. So they'll get one more play with 6 seconds left.
Well, I don't know that you have time unless it's a deep outside route to get a throw in and position yourself for possibly a field goal. So in this instance, you do have a timeout, but it's going to have to be a deep throw down the field, and it's going to happen very, very quickly to give you one final play at a shot to the end zone.
Jason Elam had not missed all season long. Not once. Until that chip shot, which would have pretty much sealed this game. So now Ryan Drops back. Throws, and it is caught. Jenkins out of bounds. 1 second left. They're going to have a chance to win it. Ball caught in the 30. This will be a 47-yard field goal try by Elam, who can go from GOAT to hero in the blink of an eye. What an amazing finish so far to this game.
And it's really the only place they could have gone with the ball, because they had made that same long throw down the middle of the field. I don't know that you would have gotten the timeout called in time. So that deep outside throw, great job getting your feet in bounds. Now it all comes down to the kicker. You're exactly right. This is the NFL. From the outhouse to the penthouse, or vice versa, all in a short period of time.
So Jason Elam, whose long this season is 45 yards.
Here again, we have the NFL. There is no replay on the field, so you have the NFL officials wanting to make sure they got it right, wanted to make sure both feet are in bounds. And again, I'll say it again, he not only has to have the catch and both feet in bounds, but as he goes down out of bounds, he has to show that he has maintained control of the ball. I don't think there's any question that he got the feet in bounds. Great catch by Michael Jenkins. Catch in bounds. Now, does he maintain control? Yes, he does. That's clearly got to be a catch. Haven't heard much from Michael Jenkins the whole game. As big a play as he's probably made with the Atlanta Falcons clearly in this year.
Jason Elam, 38-year-old, went to Brookwood High School just outside of Atlanta. Been to the Pro Bowl 3 times. Of course, he has a career long of 63, which ties Tom Dempsey's all-time NFL record. That was back in '98 for Denver against Jacksonville. And now a chance to win a game as this one continues to be looked at by the replay folks.
Now, we've talked about this, Tom. These Atlanta fans have been through a lot. They've shown up to a certain degree. It's a sellout crowd today. If they make this field goal, if indeed this call holds up.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch.
If Jason Elam can make this field goal, this place is going to absolutely erupt and give validation to Mike Smith, Thomas Dimitroff, Arthur Blank, and what they're doing.
A 48-yard field goal try for Jason Elam to try and win it for the Falcons over Chicago. The snap, the hold, and it is good! Game-winning field goal in the career of Elam for Brian Billick. I'm Tom Brenneman. Back to L.A. What a game!
Welcome to the AT&T Game Break.
Turns into a track meet.
Well, that's what it
was.
Bigger question, Marcus Hamilton was taken off the Buccaneers practice squad just a couple of weeks ago, and he's in a crucial situation. Peanut Tillman goes down. Nate Vasher, who said 100% sure on his television show this week that he was going to play, did not play. Yeah. So you're down to Graham, you're down to Hamilton. My question is on the depth of that secondary right now. It is very, very thin. This guy was plucked off a practice squad, and now we're talking about practice squad.
We're talking about practice squad.
And this is not practice.
He came from Tampa Bay, though. There's no excuse because in Tampa Bay they play the cover 2.
Right.
And to blow it like that, it's disgusting. It is.
All right, what did you guys think about the clock? I mean, did it look like it was the Georgia Dome, favorable clock there to get that 1 second?
But that's home field advantage.
It shouldn't have came down to that.
That's what it is. But yeah, it should never have come down to that. That's a fact.
No, not at all.
It was bend but don't break on this defense all game long. Ryan looked tremendous. He was able to hit different receivers, Roddy White, Jenkins throughout. It was an impressive display by him. What did you think about the Bears defense on this day as a whole?
Well, they stopped the run.
They stopped the run.
Absolutely. They went in, and one of their main things was to stop Michael Turner. And Michael had, I think, 54 yards rushing today. They did an excellent job gang tackling this guy, popping him. He had one big run at 23 yards, and then that was pretty much it.
Here's the point. If you're going in, you say, we're going to make a team one-dimensional, is what the Bears did today. They took out Michael Turner, put it on Matt Ryan. He won.
Yeah, but here's the thing I don't understand about what they were doing defensively.
Kyle Orton is set to address the media right now, led the Bears to what put them ahead there with just a couple ticks to go. Here he is in Atlanta live.
We were put ourselves in back. Sorry about that. And a chance to win the game. We didn't start fast enough, especially as an offense, and obviously as a team we didn't finish. We've had 3 tough losses, but that's just how it goes. Tough to win on the road. You got to play extremely well. We didn't do it for the entire game, and really the only thing we can focus on is Minnesota. Got a division game coming up at home, and we have to win it.
Kyle, it seemed like the first half the offense was just not in sync.
When you play teams like this, who run the ball and eat up clock, you have to get first downs as an offense. If you don't get first downs, I think we had 22 plays or something at halftime. So it's tough to get through all the stuff you want to run. We were able to get first downs in the second half and get to a lot of the plays that we wanted to get ran.
Can you talk about the touchdown pass for Rashid?
Just had the defensive back with his head turned and just Rashid's, I saw Rashid's eye, so I tried to throw it as hard as I can and get it there before the guy, turned around and got his head turned. So Rashid made a great catch on it. It was a great drive as an offense. Everybody stuck in there, and it was a good drive.
Kyle, what do you take out of today? Obviously, your offense makes some strides, but
just that you got to play a full game. If you don't play a full game, you can't win on the road.
Anything else?
There is Kyle Orton after the disappointing 22-20 loss to the Falcons. We're waiting Lovie Smith. Your thoughts on that last drive that led them to the touchdown, which is 11 seconds to go, the go-ahead score. That was impressive what you saw from Kyle.
Absolutely. 7 of 11, 71 yards. A quarterback needs to show up in the 2-minute drill. That's what Kyle Orton did. Put the team in position to win, gets the touchdown to Rashid Davis, making all the throws. It's unfortunate. You can see how disappointing this loss was.
Jerry was saying as they were driving, he says they're going to score here, and I'm looking at him and thinking maybe he can hear Jimi Hendrix, and I can't. But they went right down, and Kyle did a great job on that. That's what you're talking about with 2-minute situations. That's what you want. Directed the whole thing, left 11 seconds on the clock, and the defense can't hold.
But Rashid Davis too. I mean, he's struggling a little bit.
The guy you've been calling for most of the season to step up.
I've been calling for him, and he heard me. He answered the call finally.
Chris Houston, much like Marcus Hamilton, that play will be looked at.
The other area, we're kind of lost here by how this thing ended, but with 8 minutes to go, it's 3rd and 1 at the goal line for the Bears, and they decide to give it to McKee. And we all had the same reaction in there. I'm sure all of you at home had the same reaction.
We have gone over this week after week after week. When you get in a short yard situation, goal line situation, the fullback is not the best guy to send in there. Send him in on a lead, but don't just send him in there into the line of scrimmage, because if you don't get any movement, this is not a guy that's going to make people miss. And that was the other problem. In the interior of the offensive line, they didn't move anybody off the ball. The same thing happened on the next play. But then you've wasted a play, basically, because you got to add 2 shots with Forte down there with a yard to go for the score.
I understand where they're coming from with McKee. McKee's closer to the line. They want to just do a quick hit. But we've seen time and time again it's not really working out that well.
Lovie is set to address the media live at the Georgia Dome. Let's hear from the head coach of the Bears.
Which we weren't able to do. And of course, being able to starting fast and then finishing strong, weren't able to really do either one of them. Had opportunities, like what our offense was able to do at the end of the football game with all we had gone through during the game, of putting ourselves in a position to win the football game. Kyle, Rashid, the rest of the offense did a great job with that. Defensively, 3rd downs really hurt us. Matt Ryan had a heck of a day passing the football. against us. And we're normally pretty good on third downs, but today just didn't happen for us. Injury-wise, Charles Tillman, a shoulder. Trumaine McBride also had a shoulder, and Danielle Manning pulled his hamstring. So a little banged up there. As far as talking to the team after the game, I mean, what do you say after a tough loss like that? But we have been in this situation before. We have a big game against the Vikings coming up this week. I'll take your question.
Where was the breakdown in the last series by the completion or the kickoff?
You say what was the?
Where was the biggest breakdown, the kickoff or the?
Well, it's a combination of both. You know, the kickoff before we kicked it deep and they were able to get a long run. The guys were a little bit tired, so we felt like, you know, a squib would be safe, get them down, and, you know, they'd have a chance at maybe one more play. We keep it in play, the game should be over.
How much did the injuries to the secondary keep you guys from being able to get off the field on third down?
Well, of course they hurt. When you lose three DBs that would have played, it hurts. But again, we had ourselves in position. Injuries are part of the game. I'm sure they lost some guys too.
Major Basher had said late in the week that he thought he was 100% ready to play. Is there a setback? Did he?
Well, you know, a lot of times guys think they're 100%. He was never 100%. He wasn't ready to go. We'll play guys when they are ready. We never put an injured player out on the football field. We didn't feel like Nate was ready to go.
Look, how tough was it with the range of emotions in that brief 11, 12 seconds?
Tough. And I wish I could give you a couple more words to really show you how bad it really is, but I can't. But that's life. You have setbacks like this, but this one hurt. You know, we had victory there right within our grasp, but we couldn't pull it out.
Lovey, the injuries, did that affect the last play? Obviously, they looked like somebody was playing up as opposed to playing a little bit deeper, given the fact that
we had a lot of opportunities to make plays before that. We didn't execute as well as we needed to at the end of the game. Thank you.
Disappointed Lovie Smith after his team dropped to 3-3 on the year. Here is the coaching report card. C+, C, C. A lot of fingers to be pointed with some of the decisions that were made today, namely the third one, the decision to squib it. You could say possibly the defensive coverage or alignment there on that last play. That might have been more just execution. Your thoughts overall, guys, in the coaching?
I just want to talk about the last play. Know the situation. Right. I mean, you could care less if the guy completes the ball in front of you. Don't let him get behind you. I mean, to me, that's just knowledge. And Marcus Hamilton obviously new to the Bears, but he knows football.
But you look at the clock, and you say, okay, if the guy catches the ball in front of me, the clock is going to expire. As long as I don't let him go for a touchdown, we're good to go. And I don't understand you letting that guy get to the side. Number one, not covering him back, then allowing him to get to the sideline. And Mike Brown's got to come all the way over from the middle of the field to try to make the play on the guy. It shouldn't have been that.
It shouldn't have.
Does the final drive that Kyle led them on, does that overshadow the decision on that goal line? I mean, you wait, that looked like a well-executed, time management was good on that play. And then there's times in this game where they have horrible time management. Right before the half, you're at the 40-yard line, your own 40-yard line. At that point, you were down, 9-3, okay? Your defense at that point had not shown any signs of being able to slow down Atlanta. And instead of taking a timeout when it was 3rd and 4 and possibly throwing a deep ball to set up pass interference to get a lucky chance to maybe Robbie Gould, like fluke things happen, like at the end of this game, they decide to sit on it and go into
That's the second time this has happened.
They do that all the
Carolina.
time.
I know, and it's frustrating because it's hard enough to win in the National Football League, and you got to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. And this offense is getting there. Hester, a lot of good things today in the pass game. What Kyle Orton did in that last drive was huge. But I think you got to start taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you.
I've noticed one thing, though, and again, it happened today when, at least from what we're hearing, Kyle Orton is out there, making and calling audibles, and all of a sudden the offense starts to move. And I'm wondering if whether or not they, have to loosen the reins even a little bit more on them and allow him to kind of get a feel for the game that way? I know it's something that's scary for coaches to do.
Well, it also got him in trouble in that Carolina game. Remember all the gray areas that we were talking about within the offense, and that's, obviously Kyle is heady enough, he can do it. I believe that. He's still growing as a quarterback, hasn't played a lot from his rookie year to where he's at now. He's much better, he can command a game, and I'll tell you what, that was a huge drive for him. That is a confidence booster, and I keep on saying it now 3 weeks in a row. This offense is ready to start humming. And I really do.
But the question I've got, though, is one of defense. If you look back at the first half in particular, they couldn't stop a slant pattern. Right. Now, why is it that, and sometimes it's in blitz situations, other times they're in zone situations, why weren't they able to stop those slant patterns?
Well, basically, I think the defensive line, they have to get their hands up. Basically they're going to the 3-step so that they can get away from all the pressure.
Because that's what they
do.
They were knocking down a couple of
they were doing to us.
Right.
Jamal Anderson was doing that to us all day long. We have to basically put our hands up in the air and knock down those 3-step drops.
Because
you anticipate that.
You're not going to get there on the sack.
You're not going to get there.
Chances are.
You're not going to get there. But the anticipation, you have to anticipate.
Know who the quarterback is. Whether, Kyle's a midline quarterback. Matt Ryan is a midline quarterback. When he drops back, like you said, just get your hands up because you're not always going to get to him.
Let me ask you a question. How do you think, what do you think about the no huddle with Kyle Orton in it?
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot, too.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, give him more opportunities. I don't know. Linemen, we always, you can get a kind of a feel you like the run game. From a quarterbacking standpoint, I'd imagine, though, that you get into a flow and you understand what's working for you.
Yeah, no huddle, just like 2 minute. You can get in a rhythm as a quarterback, but where no huddle is best is blitzing teams, like whether it's Philadelphia, whether it's, Baltimore. Those are the teams you want to no huddle. Atlanta, Mike Smith, that's not his MO. So I understand, that the Bears it wasn't a big package today.
The MO of this Bears team was solid special teams play, and we did not see that today. You had the Norwood 85-yard kickoff return. We, of course, had the decision with the short kick there at the end. Probably the Norwood return was part of the thought process of why to kick short. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about that. As we head to break, let's check out our U.S. Cellular poll question today. And here it is. What is the Bears' biggest area of improvement? A, is it the secondary? B, is it the play calling / game planning? C, a big play receiver? D, red zone efficiency? Or E, special teams and the coverage teams? Log on to ComcastSportsNet.com, hit the link to Chicago, then click the Bears page and vote away. Send us your thoughts on today's game. We'll have the results of our poll question as we take you for 90 minutes here on Bears Post Game Live. In the return game, I would have rather put my head in a vice and cranked it. That's from Magic in Chicago. Your thoughts, first of all, the squib kick decision. A lot of people are questioning the clock at the Georgia Dome and when it started, when it didn't. I'm not sure if we even saw on the game broadcast.
No, you couldn't.
It wasn't up there.
See.
So
I'm sure it was one of these deals.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's answer that whole thing about Lovie Smith. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. This. What are you thinking? Have you forgotten what has happened here since the coach left? We've been up and down and up. At least he's leveled his team off and they played. They've been back to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. Everybody's reacting because it is what it is. It's the thrill of victory and then the agony of defeat in 11 seconds.
And the hardest thing is
gut-wrenching.
The hardest thing is to let that emotion go.
That's right.
Because we're all depressed. And we're up here 1 second and down here the next. I understand that, but calm down a little bit.
Right. Well, I will say this. Lovie prides himself on solid defense, and the 3 losses have been. You can put him on fourth quarter collapses, the first 2, and whatever you want to call this. It was the defense that did not seal the deal when they needed to.
The first 2 losses, though, were related directly to the offense not being productive when they needed to be. This one you could put on the defense, probably from the beginning to the end.
Well, and this is twice it's happened. Remember the Tillman penalty was against Tampa Bay. Every now and then, guys just need to understand the situations that they're in. Whether it's Marcus Hamilton, hey, it's prevent defense. Get deep. Guys not knowing the situation, that's what's disturbing because that's what's cost the Bears this year.
How about Tommy Harris in the second quarter? Ball on the ground right in front of him. All you got to do is hold on to it, and that prevents Atlanta from kicking a field goal. That would have been the difference in the ball game as well. So, I mean, we tend to magnify those that happen at the end of the game or the last few seconds.
It goes all the way back to the beginning. You're right. It goes all the way back to the beginning.
They're scattered throughout.
They're little things, and they all add up.
What is the deal, though, with the kick coverage? I mean, the fact that Norwood, after you put some points on the board, you get some momentum back, so to speak. You need a stop.
Finally.
You figure you'll get a stop and then try to lead to that game-winning drive, and you give up 85 yards on the return.
That's a tough thing to swallow right there.
This is not typical special teams from this.
But what happened on those plays, they were doing a great job with their wedge. And you look at the three guys that are right in front of them, they were opening up some holes. That wasn't the first time that they had opened up a big hole for them. So from a special teams coverage standpoint, there's some work to be done this week.
You played special teams. What have you seen from the coverage unit? I mean, are they missing a Brendan Ayanbadejo, or is the fact that
I don't really want to bring that one up, but I think they are missing Brendan a little bit. I mean, Brendan Ayanbadejo is a special teams guru. You know, that's what he does. He basically commands a lot of attention when he's out there on the football field. It takes about 3 or 4 guys to block this guy, and now they're just matching up really well. Other teams are matching up really well to the Chicago Bears.
I'm wondering if he made that much of a difference too in the return game. Not only in terms of coverage, but the return game itself, and whether or not that might be a help to Devin Hester to have. Some guys just have a knack for making things happen on special teams, and he was one of them.
Yeah. Let's get into the decision with the squib kick. If you're Dave Toub, do you call everybody over? Is that absolutely his call? He says, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to set up squib to the...
I think that they consult, with the head coach. But at the same time, I understand what they're trying to do with the squib kick. They're trying to get the ball on the ground. They're trying to make it roll around. They're trying to burn that clock. And they need a stop. They basically need a stop.
Yeah, the ultimate decision is the head coach. Hey, Dave Toub's going to go to defer to Lovie Smith, say, hey, do you want me to squib it? Do you want me to kick it all the way off? So
let me ask you this question.
Really isn't a bad
call. There's 11
11
seconds left. You understand what Norwood's done to your special teams. What decision do you make? Do you make the decision to squib kick and hopefully let one of those up guys pick it up and maybe gain 10 or 15 yards at the most? Or do you try you roll the dice again and kick it back to Norwood?
I'm going to squib it because we rolled the dice before and it cost us, and we lost.
The flip side, too, is the fact that you've given a lot of money to a field goal kicker in Robbie Gould, who does not kick a deep ball. And obviously Elam's at the end of his career, and a lot of his kicks were short today. But you're paying Robbie a lot of money, and the fact that he can't kick the ball deep into the end zone. I mean, that's a time where we don't even have to have this discussion. If you have a guy who can absolutely drill it and knock it 5 yards deep,
those guys get paid.
You already answered your own question, though. What did you see Elam do today? He's paid to kick him through the upright.
That's it.
That's what it comes down to.
My point is Robbie's younger than Jason.
I agree with that, but the games come down, 70% of NFL games come down to a field goal or less. You're paying that guy to kick it between the uprights. Those guys are paid to go down, cover, make the tackle. Hey,
because if you can't kick it to the uprights, the next thing is they give you the son. It's been nice knowing you. See you later,
Martin Gramatica. See ya.
Yeah. Gone.
Robbie connected on 2 field goals on this day, and a crucial situation there with the squib kick. He spoke with our William Jackson a short time ago at the Georgia Dome. Let's listen in on that conversation.
All right, thanks, Pat. Appreciate it here with Robbie Gould. And Robbie, have you ever been in a game where so many emotions went through in a matter of 12 seconds?
It really comes down to the last 3 minutes of the game, and most NFL games do. And, we just came out on the wrong end again. We had the game won, and they played hard. They made a play when they needed to, and they kicked the game winner.
Okay. When you talk about it, Norwood had taken you guys back, almost broke it. Previous play decided to squib, just try something different there.
I just play the time, you know what I mean? Keep it out of a guy that played well all game long. Their kickoff return team did great, and, unfortunately, the field position didn't swing our way at that time.
It was amazing that this team showed a lot of character and fight the way you guys were able to come back 4th and 1. You can't punch it in, but never gave up, even to the end.
Yeah, we have a lot of resilience on this team. I mean, we have a lot of guys that believe in ourselves no matter what the score is, and we showed that tonight. We're just not on the right end of it.
Talk about Elam, too, and what he had to go through, you being a kicker, to miss a chip shot, something you hit each and every day.
Yeah, I don't know what went into the kick that he missed, but, he went from a goat to a hero, and he kicked great. I think he had 5 field goals, 5 for 6. I mean, it's a pretty good day.
Okay. This is a rough one. You guys in the NFC North, the thing about it, you're still in good shape there, but that doesn't take away the sting, huh?
No, you know, we should be sitting at 6-0 right now, but the reality is we're 3-3. We've lost 3 games with, I think, 7, 8 points. You know what I mean? Like, we're not losing games by getting blown out. You know, we're just not making a play here and there, and hopefully at the end we'll get some of those games to go our way.
Okay, Robbie, appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Okay, all right, we'll see you in bed. All right, so the Bears figured they had a big win today, and in the final seconds, literally, it slips away. This is one that will sting for more than perhaps a day. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, William, thank you very much. Look forward to you chatting with some other players here as they filter out at the Georgia Dome. Let's get back to the 8 minutes to go, fourth quarter, the decision to go with Jason McKee in the goal line situation. I thought the turning point in this ball game was earlier, 4th and 1, when Lovey decided to go for it. I thought that was a gutsy call. It did change the momentum of this game. It led to a touchdown.
Right.
And
who ran the ball on that play?
Yeah, Mr. Forte did.
Thank you.
And my question
Just
is,
asking.
Give me the laundry list of plays you would rather have seen than
you know what, though? Here's
the one we saw
called. Coaches always tell you, though, look, you got a yard to go. That's why you're getting paid. Get the yard. And that onus falls on the offensive line to get that yard. That means whatever you got to do to get that guy off the line of scrimmage, because he's going to be down there with his nose to the turf, get him out or lay on top of him. Do something, though, but make a little gash in there for your running back. And that part of it falls on the O-line.
Adewale Agunlia had 6 tackles. Not one Bear got to Matt Ryan. No sacks on this day. He is standing by with our William Jackson. Take it away, Billy Jack.
Okay, appreciate it, Pat, here with Wale, as you just alluded to. And have you ever had that roller coaster ride of emotions in such a short period of time?
Nope. That's as bad as it gets. You know, credit goes out to the Atlanta Falcons. They stayed with it, and they made the plays they had to make to win the game. And it's a tough one. It's a tough loss.
No doubt. When we talk about Matt Ryan, all during the week you guys said he got rid of the ball quickly. What impressed you about this young guy today?
You know, the poise he has. You know, he was able to go out there and execute the offense well. He took advantage of some key injuries we had, and he played well. So hat goes out to him. He's a young and up-and-coming star, and he's proved it today.
And talk about third downs, too, because he seemed to come through when they needed it most.
Yeah, and that's usually our strength, you know. Third downs, we're able to get off the field. But, no excuses. You know, they played better than us, and they deserve the win.
And I know there's no victories when you lose, but the fight in this team that you guys show a lot of heart down the stretch.
Yeah, you know, if you want to take anything from it, you know, there's a silver lining, I guess, in this cloud is that, you know, we didn't give up. We just got to find a way to finish these games. And we're sitting here with 3 losses that deflating type of losses that we could have won. So we've got to just do what we've been doing all year and bounce back from these losses and try to get some wins.
The fact that you have a divisional opponent coming up, does that make it easier to get the concentration back?
Yeah, of course, you know, and the fact that we lost, you know. So with those 2 factors in it, it's not going to be hard for us to get up from Minnesota.
Okay. All right, Wally, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks now. All right, Pat, let's go back to you guys in the studio. Rough loss for the Bears. The guys not very talkative today, so we appreciate it when they come out. Back to you.
Yes, we do, William. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on the fact that they did not get to Matt Ryan on this day?
Wow. I mean,
they needed pressure. They needed pressure, and the fact that
they need to blitz more, is that the question? Because they had inexperience in the secondary.
Yeah, but so you don't want to put them on an island.
That's
true. So you have to back off a little bit that way. But you would think that your front 4 at some point or another. And again, I'm not talking about sacking the quarterback because the ball's coming out so fast. But you want to get in his grill and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, you want to.
Didn't happen a lot today.
Absolutely harass them, of course, and they weren't able to do that today. But I think it's a function of the injuries in the secondary because hey, you accomplished your goal. It was supposed to be take out the run game. They did it. Put it on Matt Ryan. Guy made the plays.
I tell you what, he made them.
3rd and 16, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12.
In the pocket, sprints, rollouts, whatever you wanted to do, he was there for you.
He was there, and he was doing it.
You guys want to know what the defense was on the last play that set up the game-winning field goal for the Atlanta Falcons? The safety of the Bears. Mike Brown is standing by live with our William Jackson. Take it away, Billy Jack.
All right, Pat, appreciate it. And, Mike, this one is a devastating loss, no doubt, to get a touchdown, and they come back and hit a couple plays, and that's it, just like that.
Just like that.
We lost the football game. Offense did a great job of putting us in position to win the football game. And once again, our defense let us down. Last couple seconds left. So it's very disappointing. This one hurts a lot because, the offense did, it was an awesome 2-minute drive that they put together. Kyle showed his great leadership skills, made some great plays for us. She got the touchdown. Robbie kicked the extra point. You would think it would be in the bag, but there's 11 seconds left, and wasn't able to make a play at the end of the game.
And what was the play right before the field goal? Just a well-executed play on their part?
No, I'll take blame for that one. It's just part of the game. Should have been a little closer to be able to make a play on the ball. Wasn't. It's life, though, but I'll take the blame for that play. Should have been closer to him to make a play.
But what impressed you about Matt Ryan all day long? Because he's a young guy, rookie, but yet still he was able to make some plays out there.
Yeah, he's a very composed quarterback. He's going to be a really, really good quarterback. He made a lot of plays today, getting out of the pocket, made some incredible throws, put the ball right on the money. He's going to be a really good quarterback. They have a good one here.
Okay, Mike, you've been playing football a long time. Have you ever been involved in a game like this with so many emotions in a short period of time?
No, I can't recall being in one that ended quite like this. But hey, that's why they play 60 minutes of football, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep playing until the last second ticks off, and you got to give credit to Atlanta for making a play when they needed it.
Can you take any solace in the fact that a divisional opponent is coming back up, so you really have to get focused and geared again, because in the North you guys are still in good shape there?
Well, that's this league, man. You got to get ready for next week. We'll come in tomorrow, watch the film, see where we can make some improvements, where they beat us, and hopefully make some improvements off the watching the tape and get ready for Minnesota.
Okay, and last question, too. You guys have lost 3 games, but all those games have been right there. It hasn't been one that was decided you guys lost.
Yeah, but like I said, we still lost 3 games, and that's the bottom line. It's wins and losses in this league. We're 500 right now. We've been playing 500 football.
Mm-hmm. So it'll prove it on the field. We can say what we want, but it's on the field.
Yeah, you can analyze it, criticize, do whatever you want to do, but the bottom line is we're 3-3. Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right, Mike, as always, appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. All right, Pat, let's go back to you guys in the studio. Again, the Bears say they have to get this thing together. Again, because they have a divisional opponent coming up next week, they still can make some things happen, but they want to turn it around, especially with the way they're losing. Tight ball games, but not able to pull it out in the end. Back to you guys.
All right, William, they've got Minnesota on the lakefront next week, then the bye, then Detroit comes to Chicago. Let's talk a little bit about what Mike Brown just said, taking the blame for the Michael Jenkins 26-yard pitch and catch that set up the Elam game-winning field goal. Your thoughts on what you heard from Mike?
Still need help from the corner. You still need help from the corner. It seems like they were playing a loose 2, which is pretty much basically telling the corners to back off a little bit, and you're basically already in your drop. So you have to help anticipate that route. They have nowhere to go but to the sideline and deep.
So
you have to anticipate that route right there.
I think that's a big man. I think that's a leader, because that's not the play that cost the Bears. No. Because he was there, he was in position, but some other players, again, just knowing the situation, and that's just Mike Brown being a leader.
But what you just saw right there is, you talk about what leadership is.
Yeah.
Leadership is not standing there in that situation and blaming it on someone else. You take the blame for it. You stand up. You stand tall, even though it wasn't your deal. Later on, you go back as a team, you get back in the meeting room, and everybody understands exactly what was going on.
You look at it right now, Mike Brown's out there with a bunch of inexperience. He's got Payne out there. He had Marcus Hamilton, who was just taken from Tampa Bay's practice squad a couple weeks ago. He's got Corey Graham out there. If Nate Vasher's situation doesn't get better quickly, and Peanut looks like this could be a chronic situation with him. We saw him last week get the shoulder
and then he landed on the
again
thing.
today.
Right. Yep.
So it's not like this is going to just miraculously get better. This could be something that lingers with Peanut for a while. Tremaine McBride left the game. There is not a lot of depth. They maybe need to address this quickly.
You can call Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, what's your number?
He's available.
1-800-TOUCHDOWN?
Hit me up.
All right, let's see what happens.
Trade deadline's not done. October, was it, 14th?
Yeah, it's true. So we'll see
working
what
out
happens.
just in case, just to let you know, I've been working out.
All right.
Just in case.
You ready to do it?
Just in case.
They may need you.
You're ready to get paid.
I'd like you out there in that soft 2 or whatever they were playing there with 6 seconds to go.
But it points out what experience does for you too, though. And obviously, Marcus didn't have the experience necessary to understand the situation. Although you've been playing football a long time, you would think that maybe that would have gotten through to you at some point or another.
He should have.
As we head to break, let's take a look at some of the scores from the early games from Week 6 of the National Football League. The Vikings pulled one out at home, knocking off the Lions 12-10. The Bucs take care of the Panthers. The Colts responded at their new home against a tough Ravens defense. 31-3 is the final there. The Texans win a squeaker over the Dolphins in that wacky Wildcat formation. The Rams knock off the Redskins, who come back to. How does that happen? The Redskins, supposedly one of the best teams in the National Football League, certainly coming out of the tough
Jim
NFC
Haslam's made all the difference.
And the Rams win in D.C. Oh my! Saints
the Raiders
take care of
lost
the Raiders 34-3, and the Jets knock off the Bungles 26-14 is your final. Back with more U.S. Cellular Bears postgame live after this.
More than 20.
Lose 22-20 in the ATL. They fall to 3-3 on the campaign. They gave up 301 yards passing, just 75 on the ground to the best running back in the National Football League coming into this game. Dusty Dvorak with 5 tackles on the day. He's standing by live with our William Jackson. Take it away, William.
Okay, Pat, appreciate it, man. And Dusty is indeed with me. And when you talk about what you guys wanted to do, that was kind of slow down the run. Michael Turner, you're able to do that all day long.
Yeah, we did a really good job stopping the run, really emphasized that all week in practice. And Matt Ryan beat us. You know, he had a great day, played really well, and we didn't really have an answer for him. We didn't get enough pressure on him. You know, he beat us.
And that's how you guys wanted the game to be played out, to make him beat you. He's a rookie and all that. But did he impress you even more so than you thought after watching film?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. He's a ball. He's a gamer. You know, he made the throws when he had to in big spots from the beginning of the game. I mean, he made plays all day, and you know, we got to play better. We didn't. You know, we held him to field goals, but still. I don't even know if we had 1 3 and out until the fourth quarter at the very end. That's not the way we play defense.
And that was the next question too. Is on third down when they needed, whether it was 3rd and 16, 3rd and 8, they seemed to come up with the play in the air.
We did, and we preach big time. Get off the field on 3rd down. I mean, that's how you win games. You know, you gotta get off the field, and we didn't do that today. And we lost. We deserved to lose. We didn't play good enough on defense.
When you talk about what the offense was able to do, how much character did they show on that last drive when Rashid gets the ball in the end zone from Kyle?
Unbelievable, and a great job. That whole drive, just the way Kyle was so poised, took us down, made great throws, good decisions with the ball. Guys making great catches. Rashid, unbelievable catch, and I think everybody thought we'd won the game, and then we didn't finish. That's why you play 60 minutes, not 59 minutes and 49 seconds.
And that's it. Emotionally, have you ever been involved in a game like that where you needed one play and it's over?
Never. I've never been involved. No, I haven't. But you know what? We got Minnesota this week. We're going to go in tomorrow. We're going to watch this film. We're going to make the corrections. We're going to get ready to play Minnesota. I mean, it's the way it is. You know, we lost. I feel like we should have had a win here. We didn't get the job done. We got to play better next week.
And that's it, because every game, it hadn't been a blowout in the other direction yet. You guys have been in every game, and you can make an argument should have won all the games.
You can make an argument we didn't. I mean, I think it's the NFL. Everybody's good. It's hard to get wins in this league, and we got to do all the little things to get wins. You know, we can't put ourselves in a situation where we have to win like that. The defense has got to play better, and even with what we had a chance to still win the game. We got 6 seconds. We let them get that completion. We got to play better. It's we didn't get the job done. It hurts. It hurts.
What you can do is go back and regroup and get ready for next week.
That's right, man. We're gonna watch the film tomorrow, lift weights, and get ready for Minnesota. I mean, it's time. Divisional game, big chance for us to come back and bounce back and hit the bye week on an up note. Still in control of the division.
All right, Dusty. Appreciate it as always, man. Okay. Good luck next week. All right, so as you see, Dusty Dvorak disappointed with the way the guys lost the game. And the reason he's so disappointed is they figured they had this thing won, figured they had it won because the man standing next to me catches a touchdown pass, some 11 seconds left. Just talk about that roller coaster of emotions, Rashid, when you guys get the drive and you get both feet down with conviction, so you stamp the ground.
It's tough, man, when you lose a game like that. It's really tough. You know, you try to go out and finish games, but unfortunately the ball bounced their way this time. They they made the plays at the end of the game to win, and we're on the wrong end of this one.
Mm-hmm. And usually 9 times out of 10, almost 10 out of 10, if it's 11 seconds you go in the end zone, you can pretty much write that one up in a W column.
Wrap that one up, but we had a good kick going. The guy, they had it set up pretty decently where one of the up men can pick it up, and he picked it up and had a good return. You still don't expect for them to be able to complete a 20-some yard pass or whatever it was, but they did and got his feet in, and Elam made the kick.
Mm-hmm. And I know an argument can be made that you guys could have easily won all the games, but this one even more disheartening than any of the other losses. I know it still counts as a loss, but to have it in your grasp like that.
You know what? It's a long season. I'm not trying to focus on any of that. Unfortunately, we lost this game. It's only game 6. We have 10 left. We need to go out and get a run going, win 4 or 5, 6 games in a row, hopefully, and move on from there.
Okay. What did the offense show you in terms of heart and character down that stretch?
Showed me anything. Maybe showed everybody else something. Didn't show me anything. We already know what we have. We know what everybody's capable of doing. Everybody on the offense is supremely confident. You know, we know what we can do. We know we can move the ball. We started out slow this game, came out in the second half and moved the ball well, put some points on the board. So they don't have to show me anything.
Okay, final question, too. On the touchdown pass, if you can walk us through it, what did you do for that?
We had a corner route on. Usually if a guy is playing me on top like 23 was, I'll come underneath him. But because he was responsible for that part of the end zone, he was cheating up a little bit, reading the quarterback's eyes, and I was able to get behind him, ran to the back corner, Cal threw a perfect pass, and we scored a touchdown.
Not enough, but still you guys made a gallant comeback. Get ready for next week, a divisional opponent in Minnesota.
It's huge. Yeah, we get out to go out there and see Bernard, hit Bernard a little bit. What's up, bro? Yeah, we get to go out and play against Bernard and Bobby and them, and Lord willing, we get a win.
Okay, Rasheed, nice money catch, man.
Thank you.
And hopefully you guys get them next time.
We will.
All right, appreciate it. Okay. All right, let's go back to you guys in the studio. Rasheed Davis, everybody in here figured that was the game winner, but not to be on this particular day in Hotlanta. Back to you guys in the studio.
You got that right, William. Thank you very much, and thanks to Rasheed and Dusty Dvorak. Here are just some of the over 500 emails that have come into ComcastSportsNet.com on this day. I never thought I'd see a Bears team with a better offense than defense. What's going on? That's Patrick from California. Is that the case, guys? Is the offense better than the defense?
I'll tell you what, today it was. I mean, I thought, the offense did what it had to do late in the game. When you look at defensively, I think the Bears, they accomplished their goal with stopping Michael Turner. But, let's face it, that was a rookie quarterback that beat him on third down.
Michael Turner averaged 2.2 yards per carry.
There's other goals.
Leading rusher in the National Football League, but there are other goals, as you said. You got a secondary, and there's a reason why you have a secondary.
That's a rookie quarterback beating this team on third down.
So does that even
things
out? Rookie quarterback and inexperience at the corners because of injury.
You would think, but then they have veterans on the wide that Finneran and Jenkins and guys getting it done. Roddy White. I thought the most telling thing from Dusty's conversation was they didn't have a 3-and-out until the fourth quarter. Look at the number of plays that the Atlanta Falcons had in their drives. 10 plays, 11 plays, 7, and then there was that fumble that Tommy didn't hold on, then they had 4 more. So that's an 11-play drive in all honesty. 7 plays, 8 plays, 10 plays, 3-and-out, 4-and-out.
Well, here's the thing. Time of possession in the first half, I think that the advantage 21 to 9 in favor of Atlanta in the first half. That's all you need to know right there. And what was happening offensively, again, we talked about third down situations in the first half. Now, if you look at the final numbers, it looks really good for the Bears in terms of converting on third down. But in that first half, that's when the difficulty came, particularly if you got in a third and long situation. They just were not able to complete the long pass.
How do you evaluate the defensive line when they don't have any sacks, but they hold the best running back in the league well below his average? Tommy Harris was back in there, 1 tackle from him, and the miscue. Is he hurting this defensive line? Anthony Adams is inactive today.
Yeah, and Tone as well. I think you know, you'd like to get more production out of him. I just don't think he's completely healthy. I mean,
he says, you know, that's the big mystery right now at Hallis Hall. And I mean, I know you played up there, and both you guys certainly have dealt with.
Here's what's concerning is like today, awesome job by the defensive line stopping the run. But third downs, Tommy Harris has been paid a lot of money. You got to be a penetrating 3 technique and get to the quarterback. That's where his impact plays are. It wasn't today. I can say it again. 3rd and 16, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. You got a rookie quarterback that you need to hammer on. The pressure has to be put up front.
You want to speed the game up for a young quarterback, and that's why I was saying I understand we didn't have experience in the secondary, but blitzing, and we didn't see a lot of that today. You know, I don't know if that's because they were so concerned with the run, what the problem was.
I think it was that, and plus the fact that you know, they're playing
like
with
3rd and long. You got to think.
But a secondary that's nicked up, in particular with guys that don't really, you know, there's a huge difference between starting every week and then the guy coming in off the bench. It's just in terms of just game experience. So, you know, you have to temper things, I think, a little bit that way.
I think they got away with their blitzing and showing what they wanted to do, and it just basically played zone, you know, just to help these young corners out, because there were some young corners out there. There's a lot of veterans.
And after a while,
went down.
it didn't take Matt Ryan long to figure it out. And that's why those slant patterns are opening.
The 3-step
you know what he did? He
drop
went back. I guarantee you, they went back, you know, over the last 3 or 4 weeks and looked at the tapes and said, "What routes are open?"
Right.
Well, you know, again, those linebackers getting out and
but I thought we had fixed it the last couple of weeks, where we began to create some different wrinkles to this defense.
Go back 3 weeks, because that's usually what the teams, they go back 3 weeks.
How big is it for the defensive line to get those hands up?
It's huge. It's huge. They got to do that.
It's really big. I mean, that's what they were doing with us. Jamal Anderson on their team was batting down balls left and right.
He knocked down 2 passes that way.
All right, let's head to break here on U.S. Cellular Bears Postgame Live. Here's our U.S. Cellular poll question on this day. What is the Bears' biggest area of improvement? Is it the secondary? Is it the play calling / game planning? Is it the big play receiver they need? Red zone efficiency, or special teams / coverage teams? Go to ComcastSports.com. Click Chicago, then the Bears page. You can cast your vote there. We'll have the results coming up later in the show.
Are you looking to improve the efficiency and productivity of your small business? International Profit Associates is the nation's leader in management consulting for small and medium-sized companies. We can provide a comprehensive evaluation of your business and offer a wide variety of professional services to fit your needs. Our business analysts will assess your company's strengths and weaknesses, from operations to tech services. IPA is full service and can help take your business to the next level. Call IPA today to take the first step toward growing your business.
Hurry in for Mr. Submarine's value meal deals. Order any summer salad and get your choice of soup or Frito-Lay chips and an ice-cold 22-ounce RC Cola.
Mr. Submarine.
How well do Chicago sports fans really know their Chicago sports trivia?
We're going to put you to the test.
Every week, Beer Money host Ted Brunson and Sarah Kustok hit the streets of Chicago, testing
from around week 6 of the National Football League. Who's hot? How about our old buddy, former Bear Thomas Jones? 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown on the day for the Jets. Drew Brees, 26 of 30, 3 touchdowns. Andre Johnson, 10 catches, 178 yards, and a touchdown for the Texans. Who's not? How about Jake Delhomme? 3 picks on the day. Jamarcus Russell, the struggling Raiders, 159 yards through the air and the pick. Joe Flacco, 3 interceptions for 241 yards of passing. Tommy Harris will probably be on the Who's Not list as well. Just 1 tackle today. His first game back after missing the last 2, one being inactive because of his injury and last week for being suspended. Here is Tommy Harris addressing the media a short time ago.
He's good. The quarterback, he's a good young player. Has a lot of voice, makes big plays, and he played a great game today. And we were going back and forth, and they finished in the end, and we didn't.
Tell me, how hard is it just to swallow the loss after being so close to win?
It's difficult. It's going to be one of those things that it's going to be hard to get over, but you have to. You have so many more games to win and to play also, but I think we'll finish the rest of these games.
On the fumble, were you trying to pick it up, or why did they review it? Did you tell them that
No, I laid on the ball, and then I didn't hear a whistle, so I was trying to get up, and it scooped out from underneath my hand.
Why was it review? You know why it was reviewed?
I don't know.
How'd you feel playing out there? How'd you feel?
I felt good.
Can you describe the emotions? I mean, because you guys were late and 11 seconds later deflated.
Just look around. It speaks for itself. So, everybody's disappointed, but we have so many more games left. And we're 3-3 right now, and we just have to finish strong. We have Minnesota coming in, so we're focusing on that now.
Are you impressed with Matt Ryan?
Very, very.
It seemed like he really got in a rhythm and tough to get to.
Yeah, he was very difficult to get to. Good quarterback, very smart to be so young, has a lot of poise, and look forward to seeing him again.
Well, maybe you will. Maybe we'll see him in the postseason if both teams get there. Here's a look at the first half and second half as far as what the defense was able to do or not do against the Falcons. Give up 198 total yards in that first half, just 39 on the ground. Second half, an improvement of sorts, 142 through the air. Again, you look at the length of those drives, and I mean, again, the 10 play, the 11 play, the 8 play, it was all game long.
If there was any positive out of that first half defensively, what would you say it was?
They kept them out of the end zone.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big positive.
I would think just by judging by Tommy Harris's comments there, that's what it was. It was the game was decided by we're going to put Matt Ryan in where he's got to make decisions and make plays. And he's almost shocked that he played that well. That Matt Ryan played that well as a rookie, and was poised enough to make the plays when they needed him. I think it shocked everybody. I don't think they anticipated that.
Well, I think they let Matt Ryan dictate the way this game would go, and I don't think they sped the game up and gave enough looks to confuse the young man.
I agree with you. I think, one, he's very sharp. When you look at Matt Ryan, I think when you talk about football intelligence, he's there, and there's no doubt about that. But I think, when it comes to coverage, and I think the Bears decided to take a more coverage standpoint because of the injuries in the secondary. And even for a young quarterback, it's not hard. Zone is zone. I'm reading high-lows. That's all you're doing, and he's more than capable when you look at Matt Ryan and what he did at Boston College.
You go all the way back to even the last drive. Now, that looks, most people would think that, man, that was like a magical play, right?
No, that's the easiest read.
Defensively, what are you supposed to do in a situation like that?
Drop.
What did your coaches tell you when you were playing?
When I was playing, in cover 2, you always had to protect the sideline. You always had to get back. The number one goal, if you're playing regular cover 2, is to reroute those wide receivers because you don't want a free release, and then to basically sink back and play high to low. High to low. Everything in this defense, when it comes to cover 2, is keeping everything in front of you and don't let anything get behind you. Now, on the last play, they were playing a loose cover 2, which means that the corner is already in his drop. He should already be protecting him and protecting Mike Brown from any deep throws that go to the corner. That's your play 110%.
And what is a quarterback?
I'm telling you what, that's an easy read for a quarterback because, like I said, in zone coverage, all it is high-lows. I'm going to put people in bad spots. If I know it's cover 2 and I got a smash route, which is a corner and a flat or a flat player going out to the flat, I'm just reading the corner, high-low. That is my only read. That's my one read. I mean, you could make it a little bit more difficult than that if you played more of a prevent, like a
but the funny thing is the Bears scored on a similar type of a situation. Because they had a guy, they had Olsen in the flat, and then they had Davis in the end zone, and the corner kind of got in a little bit of a pickle. He decided to look to the guy that was coming out of the flat, the guy in the end zone scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, well, at least Chris Houston was with the receiver because nobody was on the flat guy going to the flat, Greg Olsen.
Right.
Where was our corner? Where was Marcus Hamilton? I mean, he wasn't.
I don't know if he was assuming there would be somebody underneath.
It was.
He went back to 10.
That's why Mike Brown said, "Hey, I'll take the heat on it."
Yeah,
but
so
the
he was
corner should have
covering
been
for Marcus probably.
Absolutely.
But it all works together. It all works together. But he has to play his part.
The Bears had a timeout left. Would you have ever thought of calling a timeout there? Take a look at that. I mean, you're going to stay in the same defensive coverage, so it's not like you're really going to change things up. But is that a crazy thought to think? I mean, would you ever call the timeout to regroup and take a look at it, knowing that it comes down to this?
You can think about that, but then you know what happens next, and don't you? Then they score a touchdown. Everybody goes, "What were you thinking, calling that timeout?"
Because it gives the chance for the offense to regroup.
To set up,
well,
right?
I know there was a reason we said, "What were you thinking?" on the 3rd and 1 with 8 minutes to go. Why did Jason McKee get the rock? You're going to hear the explanation from the offensive coordinator, Ron Turner, who addressed the media a short time ago. We'll find out what he had to say about that and other things as US Cellular Bears post-game live continues with more locker room reaction after the difficult 22-20 loss to the Falcons. Luke Canellis and Dan will break down the Bears offense on Wednesday. They'll focus on the defense on Thursday. It's Bears Blitz. Check it out only on Comcast Sportsnet. Offensive coordinator Ron Turner addressed the media a short time ago in Atlanta. Let's listen in.
When we get ready for a game, we look at what they're doing defensively, goal line wise. We come up with a goal line game plan, and some weeks that plays part of it, some weeks it isn't. This week it was, and we ran it in the first play down there, and obviously got a little bit on it, got half a yard on it, got it down to the inch line, and then ran another play on the 4th down.
Matt, is he spread out of the backfield on that play?
Yeah. To wonder, move a linebacker out. What's that?
Thoughts about a quarterback sneak down there at all?
No, they were in there way too tight. They got everyone covered up inside, and looking at it, going into it, sneaks are tough when they're all as tight as they are. So, the play we went with was one that we felt good about, coming into the game and felt we could, run.
Maybe big steps forward again for Kyle. I was expecting a 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, but I guess down to the last second.
Yeah, Kyle's been playing well. He's been playing well for us, and offensively, we had a chance to do some more and not put the game in the situation at the end, and we got to make sure we get that done.
All right, here's a look at the final statistics. Pretty much, it looks, I think, a little more even than the way it played out. It did feel like for a majority of the games, the Falcons dictated the flow. Certainly, time of possession even evened out. I mean, it was drastically in the favor of the Falcons in that first half. But things seemed to level out there in the second half. When you heard Ron's explanation of how they attack or set up a game plan for a particular opponent, they say they look at what they do from week to week. They come up with a goal line package. Did you like this goal line package? And the 4th and 1 in the 3rd, where they pitched and they allow that was a handoff. Where they allow Forte to kind of look for a crease, go with the flow, and kind of be patient.
Right.
Like he did actually to get them down to the goal line, where he got the 7 yards. Why not a play like that versus something like this?
There are a couple of things you could have done that. You could have pitched the ball. Right. But remember, the other thing that you can always do when you have that far to go for a touchdown, understand that the defensive linemen on both sides of the center are pinching normally. Both of the defensive ends are pinching in. So what they're trying to do is crowd up the middle. So maybe that's the play where you send the fullback here and then send the running back up over the top. Because everybody's and the linebacker's going to be reacting to that first guy they see into the line of scrimmage. You would think that would be the situation.
Yeah. It was tough because the first half, obviously only 9 minutes, the Bears had the football. I mean, and Kyle Orton alluded to that. We couldn't get to our complete package of plays, but when it comes to situational play like that, that's one thing we haven't seen is running backs diving over the pile. That's what it needs to be down there. There is such a force in that A gap. I mean, all those defensive linemen are in a 4-point stance. They got both their hands on the ground, and they're digging into the ground. They just want it to be a complete wall. Now the running backs got to get over the top.
Because the linebackers are floating behind there looking for that guy that's coming over, and they're going to nail him. The first guy they see, they're usually nailing him. So maybe send that fullback up and over the top there, and then the running back give him the ball.
Kevin Jones almost non-existent in this game. 2 carries for 3 yards. Forte, 20 carries, 76 yards. That's 3.8 yards per carry. It seems like he has better numbers than what they finally look like on the paper.
You know why, though? Because what he does a lot of times is get you out of some tough situations.
Right.
And the other thing that kind of fools you with him is in the passing game. You see him as another dimension for the passing game, and that's something that, we really haven't had here a lot for quite some time now. Back that can actually get out of the backfield, catch the football, and make you miss.
Yeah, again, his role can expand even more. This is a talented player. I mean, Forte is an up-and-coming.
You see, how long have we wanted that guy? I mean, we're sitting here waiting for Cedric that whole time to be that guy that when you see him, when we talk about being in the flow of a play, you go outside and then all of a sudden he breaks back to the back.
Like he did to get to the goal line.
Good yardage on the play. That's what you want out of your guy.
He's been tremendous. Again, it doesn't necessarily show up in the stats from week to week, but like you said, he gets them out of difficult situations, gets key first downs, keeps the chains moving, and ultimately got them back into this ball game with the drives.
Because we talk about make a play. That's the guy that makes a play for you.
Yeah. Well, who did make the play with special teams on a couple occasions in this game, and the defense at crucial times. When we come back, we're going to hear from the architect of that defense, Bob Babbage. That's next. This is U.S. Cellular Bears Post-Game Live. For Bears recap, you'll hear Lovey's day after press conference. Jiggs will break down all the key plays. That should be a fun show, Dan.
Yeah, I'll have a breakdown before it's
Bears
all over.
recap Monday at 5, only on Comcast Sports. So the guy they're going to talk about is Bob Babbage.
Once again, we had some scenarios that we were going to use, and if it came up, we would have went ahead and made a decision.
When you're in the base, do you just have the linebacker on the third receiver?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and obviously we didn't play man coverage with it.
Yeah. What was third down, Bob, difficult because you had them using good spots?
No. That wasn't. The third downs that they converted had, in my opinion, had nothing to do with the personnel. I mean, we just didn't get off the field, and once again, that all starts with me. Period. And we just needed to get off the field today. We've been great on third downs. I don't know what the percentage was, but I know that they converted some third and longs, and obviously that was disappointing.
Bob, can you talk about the challenge it was for you, the coaches, with the injuries to your defensive backfield, what you guys had to do?
Well, what we had to do, I mentioned earlier, we had to go to our base personnel. We were down to our last two corners. So, but once again, I'm not going to say that that is the blame. I'm just going to say as the leader of this unit, we didn't get it done, and I'm taking responsibility for that.
How was that a key experience factor in that last presentation?
Well, I don't know if it was an inexperience factor. It's, once again, you weren't here today, but I talked about it, and the call, didn't work, obviously, and that's my fault.
Bob Babbage addressing the last play that set up the game-winning field goal. Here's a comment from Ken in Chicago over the 650 people that have responded on Comcast Sports that Bears cover two looked more like a cover who. A rookie quarterback should never have walked all over the Bears defense the way he did today. That you say?
You're right. But I tell you what, he didn't look like a rookie, though.
No, he didn't.
No, but
He was real calm. He seemed to have real good command of the offense.
I think Bob Babbage just nailed it right there. He said, hey, because we were so thin defensively when it comes to personnel, I'm telling you, as a quarterback, if you can't provide pressure on a young quarterback to force him into decisions, you'll pick apart zone coverage all day long. I don't care if it's Tampa 2 or whatever you're running. A quarterback will pick it apart if you can't go after him. It makes your job a lot easier to just sit back there and sift through, like I said, high lows is all you have to dictate. And that's
it was probably a lot like what he saw at Boston College.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you're in college football, you maybe see two coverages. That's what teams can run well. In the NFL, you should be able to see man, zone, blitz from your goal line to their goal line, and that's what can be disturbing to put a lot of pressure on a young QB.
Of the 650 emails, we have to have at least in the neighborhood of 100 that are criticizing Bob Babbage. Lovey, please apologize to Ron Rivera. Give him his job back. The Bears D hasn't been the same since Rivera left, right? That's Skip. Is that true? Is this Bears defense not the same thing we saw that went to the Super Bowl because Ron Rivera?
Result of your personnel as well. But We were talking during the timeout. This is a good defense when everybody's healthy, but when guys start getting nicked up, particularly in the secondary, and that's what's happened over the last couple of years, then you got problems. You have major issues then.
A lot of problems.
All right, time now for the guys to give us their Monsters of the Midway, presented by IPA, otherwise known as the Bears MVP. And Zoom, we kick it off with you.
Forte. I mean, he was running the ball effectively, catching the ball effectively, blocking. This guy, we've asked a lot about him and for him to do and step up, and he's done it. So, my guy's Forte.
Got to go with Kyle Orton. You know, here we're banging on this football team. They had the game won. I mean, this team, for Kyle to lead them down, 2-minute drill, they get the points when they need them. You thought victory was in hand, so I got to go with Kyle Orton. Great leadership, and I don't want to talk bad about the Bears because they're still an outstanding football team.
Yeah, you know, ordinarily I'd pick somebody like St. Clair or maybe Olin or somebody like that. But today I think I'll have to break away, and I'm going to say Matt Forte. I thought that, again, we talked about all those situations where he made a difference. Granted, it's the offensive line really helping him out a lot, but you saw those breaks. Side of plays and whatnot. I thought that was fabulous. Kyle was outstanding, I thought, as well in the second half.
And that's why my vote's going to Kyle Orton as well for the second straight week. He comes to play, led him to that go-ahead touchdown with 11 seconds to go to Rashid Davis. It looked like at that point that might be one of the stepping points to kind of catapult his career. And we'll see. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll be the confidence he needs.
Can I get a two for this week? I mean, I took one last week. Can I get a two for? I'll take Kyle and Matt.
All right, let's check out the MVP standings after week 6. And here's the way it shakes down. Kyle is still in the lead with 7 thanks to his performance the last couple of weeks, followed by Forte Briggs and Brandon Lloyd, who again missed today's game because of injury. Time for another break. Still have time to vote on our U.S. Cellular poll question. What is the Bears' biggest area of improvement? Here are your choices: secondary play calling / game planning, big play receiver, red zone efficiency, or special teams / coverage teams. Go to ComcastSports.com. We'll have the results on the other side. It's the Vikings. To get a victory, we start with you, Jerry.
They need to get help. You know, there's a situation at corner right now, and 2 of their corners are down, and the young guys are being asked to, you know, step up. So they have to step it up and get healthy.
For me, it would be they just need to play. If they're going to scale it back defensively, they need to play smarter situational football and execute a lot better. So maybe scale it back, what they tried to do today. The coaches didn't get it across to Marcus Hamilton, the situation of the game. And I think that's what cost the Bears.
I agree with you in playing smart, and I think the other thing is, you know, the health thing, you can't do anything about that. You got to wait and see how things work out. The other thing is third down, though, both offensively and defensively. Make it work for you instead of you working for it.
Next week, they'll have to look down with that banged-up secondary to shut down their good buddy Bernard Berry in 5 catches, 131 yards, including an 86-yard touchdown today against the Lions. We're coming back with more. We'll have the results for our poll question. Jerry's going to have his GQ. It's on the other side. Stay with us. Of improvement. Here's what you had to say. 51% say it's the play calling / game planning. 34% say it's the secondary. This is the biggest response we've ever had on this show. Almost 700 of you have chimed in with responses on ComcastSportsNet.com. We thank you as always because you guys make the show. Your thoughts on that? You think it is the play calling / game planning?
I personally don't. I think today it was bigger than the Bears because they had to scale back defensively due to the injuries, and offensively couldn't get on track in the first half. Couldn't run the full complement of plays where I always talk about having the full buffet at your fingertips. They weren't able to do that. Second half they were. That's why the Bears had the lead, but 11 seconds is all.
I look at a lot of situations. I think, you know, it comes down to, you know, there are calls here and calls there and things you can do. But in the end, it comes down to the guys out in the field getting the job done. And a prime example of that was, we talked about that fumble situation early in that ball game, because that would have prevented 3 points from going on the board. And as it turned out, those 3 points could have been real important at the end.
Time now for Jerry's GQ, where the Dapper One picks the best-dressed Bears player. First up, we have your honorable mention.
I'm going to give it to Wale. I mean, Wale looks sharp. You know, big guy. You know, looked good in the suit. Looked all right. But moving on.
How would you describe that fall color? Oh, then he goes a little moving on. Sweater underneath, too. That's kind of
I'm going to give it to Dusty. I mean, he looked sharp right there, you know, and he has the big boy knot.
There you go.
The huge boy knot.
Now, did he talk to you about that, or
you know what?
get
I
your
didn't even
okay on
discuss
that?
this with him.
Well, wait a
He
second.
must have been studying this or something. It must be on YouTube or something.
If the viewers think my goatee's nasty, what? Don't you grade that?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about from the neck down.
Hey, by the way, here's a look at our Jerry's GQ winners through week 6. We did get one emailed. Can you teach Jim the big boy knot? They said it's looking a little thin today.
Jimmy's had a
It's a little thin, like the Bears secondary.
He's had a rough week. Leave him alone.
That's right.
All right,
Or
hey
rough
guys,
night.
tell me this is going to be okay, because this was.
It is.
You know, they didn't deserve to win this game, yet they were in position to win this game. It's going to be all right.
One of those ones that drives you up a wall because you look at it and again get to the end of the season and say, oh man, that game, and that game. If you had those, you'd have won it.
That's going to do it for USLU The Bears postgame live. For Zoom, Jim Miller, Dan Jiggets, and William Jackson. I'm Pat Boyle. We'll see you next week after the Vikings game.